I think I read that. I'm sorry if I'm being mistaken, but I think that's a good idea because look, like we've seen her in our childhood when we were like really young, and now we are also getting grey hair. So I think high time that
we want to be the change.
Even from that side, we like to have a more young, dynamic person. But if not, I'm not saying that I don't have, I do have a lot of respect for what they've done. But high time that new people are given a chance. And your question was that where was I? I was shooting because they chose people and they should have been here when it was flooded. I was not the chosen person to represent by any party. So I was minding my own business, so to speak. And apart from that, the area was flooded. It was not safe to come here. And only it was also life-threatening to be traveling to this place for a significant amount of time when the tragedy struck. Did we lose? Yes, my sister lost her house. Yes. We lost many things. There were a lot of damages that happened. But we were hoping that the leadership that has been chosen from here, they do visit the lower areas also, but they were completely absent from here. So this question is better suited to people who were in power, not me.
Navneet Rana, who was otherwise an independent MP who leaned towards the BJP, has now officially joined the BJP. She spoke to Republic TV. There's been a little bit of a debate around her candidature. She spoke to Republic today.
मैं आपको इतना ज़रूर बता सकती हूँ कि भाजपा में आने के बाद एज ए सामान्य कार्यकर्ता सैनिक की बेटी का सौभाग्य है मेरे साथ में कि मैं सैनिक की बेटी हूँ और पूरे देश के जितने भी सैनिक हो गए आज उनका सभी का परिवार देख के खुश होगा कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक ऐसा पक्ष है कि सामान्य परिवार से भी बिलोंग करने वाले लोगों को उनके ऊपर विश्वास दिखाया और अमरावती में पहली बार जब कमल चिन्ह सिंबल ये बैलेट पे आएगा और खिलाने का मौका मुझे दिया है तो मुझे पूरी डेडिकेशन से और ईमानदारी से भाजपा पक्ष की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की कार्यकर्ता रहकर मैं पूरी मेहनत करूंगी कि अब की बार 400 पार में ये अमरावती जरूर होगा।
मैम आज अमित शाह से आपकी मुलाकात हुई, क्या क्या बातें हुई और कुछ ही देर के बाद मालूम चल रहा है कि आप नड्डा जी से भी मुलाकात करेंगे।
हाँ, मैं जिनको नेता मानती हूँ मेरे जिंदगी में वो अमित शाह जी हैं, नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि नेता जब मान लिया है तो नेता का आशीर्वाद लेने आज मैं पहुंची हूँ और उसके बाद ही मेरी नई इनिंग की मैं शुरुआत करूंगी और जितने जोरों से मैं काम कर रही थी उससे कहीं ज्यादा डेडिकेशन और मेहनत कर मेरे क्षेत्र से ज्यादा मतदान और वो सीट मिले हमारे भारतीय जनता पार्टी को, उसकी शुरुआत मैंने की है आज आशीर्वाद से।
बिल्कुल, आप हमेशा से विपक्ष के लिए चुनौती रही हैं, लेकिन अब भाजपा में शामिल हो गए, एनडीए का पार्ट बन गई, तो किस तरीके से देखती हैं, क्या उद्धव ठाकरे को आप बड़ी मात दे पाएंगी?
उद्धव ठाकरे ने खुद ही डिसाइड कर लिया, जिस पार्टी ने पिछले 5 टर्म से हमारे क्षेत्र को रिप्रेजेंट किया और खुद की सीट छोड़कर दूसरे को देना, वहां पर ही समझ में आता है कि कितने कमजोर वो खुद महसूस करते हैं, क्योंकि अपनी आई हुई सीट को छोड़कर दूसरों को देना। और उनकी कमजोरी तो उसी वक्त दिखाई दे गई देश में जब एक महिला पे अत्याचार करते हुए वो दिखाई दिए, क्योंकि 14 दिन जब जेल में एक मुख्यमंत्री रहने के बाद वो डाल सकते हैं, तो उनकी सबसे बड़ी कमजोरी उसी दिन लोगों ने देखी है कि महिला से लड़ नहीं पाए तो महिला की आवाज बंद करने की कोशिश की। और आज वो जो रैलियों की बात कर रहे हैं या किसी और को समर्थन में बात कर रहे हैं, ऐसे व्यक्ति ने ये चीजें बात नहीं करनी चाहिए। जो अपने पिताश्री के विचारों को जीवंत नहीं रख पाए, जो अपने पार्टी को संभाल के अपने परिवार को एक नहीं रख पाए, वो दूसरे के बाजू में जाकर ये कौन सी हिम्मत दिखाएंगे कि आप आगे बढ़ो, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं। मुझे नहीं लगता कहीं हिम्मत, और आपका और आपके चैनल का और मेरा समय उनके बारे में बात करके वेस्ट ना करें तो मुझे लगता है ज्यादा अच्छा होगा। कमजोरों की बात नहीं, लोगों की सेवा की बातें होनी चाहिए।
अगर बात करें सीटों को लेकर के, एक तरफ जहां एनडीए नारा ये दे रही है कि 400 प्लस, तो आपकी तरफ से क्या कहेंगे?
मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी की एक सामान्य कार्यकर्ता, परसों से मेरा प्रवेश हुआ, वही समझकर पूरी डेडिकेटेडली और पूरी ईमानदारी से पक्ष के लिए, पार्टी के लिए कार्य करेंगे। और महाराष्ट्र में और जहां जहां भी मुझे आदेश दिया जाएगा वहां जाकर पूरी ईमानदारी से 100% देकर पार्टी के लिए 400 पार प्लस जरूर होगा।
विपक्ष बड़ी रैली करने जा रही है 31 तारीख को, आप किस तरीके से देखती हैं? महाराष्ट्र के सभी विपक्ष के नेता वो शामिल होंगे उसमें।
मैं आपको इतना ही बता सकती हूँ कि देश के जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी हैं, अगर वो रैली करते हैं, वो कहीं रैलियां करते हैं, तो वो देश के हित में रैली करते हैं, देश के विकास के लिए रैली करते हैं। प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी अगर रैली करते हैं तो इस देश के युवकों के भविष्य के लिए रैली करते हैं। अगर देश के प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी अगर रैली करते हैं तो महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए रैली करते हैं। और जो ऑपोजिशन रैली करती है वो उनके परिवार को बचाने के लिए करती है, उनके पैसे सेव करने के लिए रैलियां करती है, या उनके बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए रैली करते हैं। तो हमारे देश के हमारी नसीब है कि इस देश के प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं।
And on to the big election controversy in Karnataka, in a season where it's almost free for all political parties calling each other names. There's a very, very controversial comment that came in from Karnataka, and that too from the son of the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaya's son Yatindra, while addressing a rally on Thursday, referred to the Union Home Minister Amit Shah as a rowdy, as a gunda, and said that under the watch of the now Home Minister and then a minister in the Gujarat government, there were many murders that took place. There's a huge fight. The BJP is angry and has gone to the Election Commission and has filed a complaint as well. Listen into the comment and the reactions that came in.
ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ 10 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಬಂದು ದೇಶನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅವನತಿಯನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಏನು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ, ಅವರೊಬ್ಬರು ಗೂಂಡಾ ರೌಡಿ, ಗುಜರಾತ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಲೆ ಆಪಾದನೆ ಕೂಡ ಇತ್ತು, ಗಡಿಪಾತ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥವ್ರು ಓದಿರು, ಅವರಂತೂ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮರ ಅಲ್ಪಸಂಖ್ಯಾತರು ನರಮೇಧ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆರೋಪನೇ ಒಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥವ್ರು ಇವತ್ತು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಉನ್ನತ ಅಧಿಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ 10 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಕೇಂದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
अमित शाह जी के बारे में डर दिखाता है उसका स्टेटमेंट की वजह से। बाप के नाम पर राजनीति में नहीं है अमित शाह जी। अमित शाह जी 1982 में बूथ अध्यक्ष रहे, बूथ अध्यक्ष के नाते काम करते करते यहाँ तक पहुँच गया है। यतीन्द्र सिद्धरामैया जी का पब्लिक आइडेंटिटी क्या है? उनका पब्लिक आइडेंटिटी केवल उनका बाप का नाम का बल पर है। सिद्धरामैया जी का नाम के बिना उनका पब्लिक आइडेंटिटी क्या है? केवल सिद्धरामैया जी का पावर और पैसा के वजह से उन्हें सार्वजनिक रूप में जिंदा है यतीन्द्र सिद्धरामैया। अपना होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी ऐसा नहीं है, ग्रास रूट लेवल पर संघर्ष करते करते यहाँ तक पहुँच गया है। एक आइडेंटिटी उनका आइडेंटिटी है आइडियालॉजी के वजह से, उनका आइडेंटिटी है एक कार्यकर्ता के वजह से, एक नेता के वजह से। यतीन्द्र सिद्धरामैया केवल सिद्धरामैया जी का बेटा है, कार्यकर्ता भी नहीं है, नेता भी नहीं है।
And on the show this morning, the Prime Minister tweeted a video of an interaction between him and Microsoft's Bill Gates, the conversation that revolved around artificial intelligence and a lot more, including India's digital revolution. Here's a short excerpt of that interaction, which lasted almost 45 minutes.
Well, the G20 is way more inclusive, and so it was fantastic to see that India, in hosting it, really raised things like digital innovation and how this South-South collaboration can be far more than just the dialogue with the North. It can actually be a system that improves health. And, you know, our foundation is so excited about the positive results that you've achieved here in India that we'll be a partner in trying to take that into many other countries.
आपकी बात सही है। जब मैं इंडोनेशिया में भी G20 में गया था तो दुनिया के सभी देशों की क्यूरियोसिटी ये थी कि आपने ये डिजिटल रिवॉल्यूशन कैसे लाया है। और तब मैं उनको समझाता था, एक तो मैंने इस टेक्नोलॉजी को डेमोक्रेटाइज कर दिया है, ये किसी की मोनोपोली नहीं रहेगी, ये जनता का होगा, जनता के द्वारा होगा, और जनता में जो भी उभरती हुई टैलेंट इसमें वैल्यू एडिशन करेगी वो करती चलेगी, ताकि कॉमन मैन को भी टेक्नोलॉजी पर विश्वास पैदा होना चाहिए। जैसे 10 डॉक्टर होते हैं, सब MBBS होते हैं, लेकिन एक डॉक्टर के पास ज़्यादा लोग जाते हैं क्योंकि उसका भरोसा बन गया है।
In areas like digital government, India is not only adapting technology, but it's actually leading the way. What are some of the things you're excited about?
Health, agriculture and education. मैंने जो आरोग्य मंदिर बना है, 2 लाख आरोग्य मंदिर, आयुष्मान आरोग्य मंदिर विलेजेज में, ये जो मेरे हेल्थ सेंटर है उनको मैं डायरेक्टली मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी से बेस्ट हॉस्पिटल के साथ उनको जोड़ देता हूँ। पहले शुरू में उनको लगता था कि डॉक्टर तो है नहीं, मुझे देखे बिना कैसे बताता है, लेकिन बाद में उनको समझ आया कि टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट और सैकड़ों किलोमीटर दूर बैठा हुआ डॉक्टर भी उनको सही डायग्नोसिस कर रहा है, सही एडवाइस कर रहा है। तो लोगों का कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ रहा है। जितना बड़ी हॉस्पिटल में होता है उतना ही छोटे आरोग्य मंदिर में हो रहा है। तो ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म की कमाल है। और दूसरी पर एजुकेशन, मैं बच्चों को बेस्ट एजुकेशन पहुंचाना चाहता हूँ। टीचर की जो कमियां है उसको मैं टेक्नोलॉजी से भरना चाहता हूँ। दूसरा, बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट विजुअल में है, स्टोरी टेलिंग में है, तो उस प्रकार के कंटेंट बनाना, उस दिशा में मैं काम कर रहा हूँ ताकि बच्चों को लगना चाहिए। और मैंने कुछ सर्वे किया, मैंने देखा बच्चों को बड़ा मजा आ रहा है। मेरे यहाँ एग्रीकल्चर में भी मैं बहुत बड़ा रिवॉल्यूशन ला रहा हूँ और मैं माइंडसेट बदलना चाहता हूँ। AI ने जो चैलेंजेस खड़ी की है वो मैंने देखा है कि इतनी अच्छी चीज अगर प्रॉपर्ली ट्रेन किया बिना किसी के हाथ में दे दी जाए तो वो मिसयूज होने की संभावना ज़्यादा है। अब मैंने AI से जुड़े सारे ब्रेन से उनसे भी बात की। मैंने कहा शुरू में हमने कोई भी AI जनरेटेड चीज़ है तो उस पर आना चाहिए वाटरमार्क कि ये AI जनरेटेड है, ताकि कोई मिसगाइड ना हो। और ये बुरी चीज नहीं है, सिंपली इट्स AI जनरेटेड, तो मैं उसका वैल्यू समझ लूंगा। डीप फेक भारत जैसे डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्रीज में और इतनी विशाल कंट्री में कोई एक डीप फेक में कुछ भी चीज डाल दे, जैसे मेरे ही वॉइस में कुछ ऐसी गंदी चीज डाल दे, तो शुरू में तो लोग मान जाएंगे, तो बहुत बड़ी आग लग जाएगी। तो ये जरूरी है कि डीप फेक AI जनरेटेड और ये सोर्स है, ये आज शुरू के दिनों में, आगे चल करके क्या होगा जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी शायद, लेकिन ये हमने कुछ डूज एंड डोंट्स उस पर सीरियसली सोचना पड़ेगा। उसी प्रकार से मैं AI से पहले काम वो लूं जिसकी मेरी महारत हो और मैं थक गया हूं, सो जाऊं, वो कर लेगा, तो वो ठीक नहीं है। जैसे हम कह देते हैं कि तुम 5 बजे उसको फोन लगा देना, तो यही कर देगा। या मैं कह दूंगा कि मेरा वो गाना मुझे सुना दो, तो वो कर देगा। तो मुझे पता होना चाहिए ना कि भाई मुझे इस समय किस गाने को सुनने की जरूरत है, मेरे लिए क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है। अगर मैं ये ना करता, मेरे टूल का ही उपयोग करने के लिए खेल खेलता रहूं, तो शायद मैं वैल्यूएशन नहीं कर पाऊंगा, टाइम पास कर लूंगा।
In the AI world, data is so important, and yet people have concerns, privacy concerns. How do we strike the balance there?
डेटा एक बहुत बड़ा इश्यू बना हुआ है। मैं दुनिया में डिजिटल डिवाइड की बात सुनता था, मैं कहता मेरे देश में मैं सब कुछ नहीं होने दूंगा कि डिजिटल डिवाइड हो। और डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी रिक्वायरमेंट है। आज मेरे यहाँ गांवों तक मैं ये डिजिटल फैसिलिटी पहुंचाना चाहता हूँ, तो मुझे लगता है वो बहुत बड़ा टारगेट ग्रुप है। महिलाएं तुरंत नई चीज़ों को स्वीकार करती है, ये मेरा अनुभव है मेरे देश में। उनके अनुकूल कौन सी चीज़ें मैं टेक्नोलॉजी में ले जाऊंगा तो वो एकदम से एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी बनती है। मैंने एक कार्यक्रम लिया है नमो ड्रोन दीदी, इसके पीछे मेरे 2 लक्ष्य हैं। एक तो मैं भारत के गांवों में 3 करोड़ महिलाओं को लखपति दीदी बनाना चाहूँ।
Congress party facing more tax trouble as they receive a notice for the 1,700 crore case They're going to move to the Supreme Court now. More details coming up.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
इंडी अलायंस वाले लोग बार बार जानबूझकर हिंदू धर्म का अपमान करते हैं। इनका हर बयान बहुत सोचा समझा हुआ होता है।
And now it's time for the nation's sharpest opinion. The Rouse Avenue Court has extended Arvind Kejriwal's custody till the 1st of April. And Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party have got a support club in America now. I don't think it's disconnected from Rahul Gandhi's democracy in danger rant when he went to America last year. In fact, it seems very similar to me and quite odd that before a general election, Washington is supporting Kejriwal. The Biden government is supporting the Congress party. What both Kejriwal and Rahul Gandhi should know is that the Cambridge Analytica model of campaigns is over and that the Indian electorate decides the fate of a democratic exercise. But that side back home today, Kejriwal himself threw everything at it. So much so that he began to argue himself before the court. Unfortunately for him, the Delhi court further extended his custody. And if we go by the kind of argument being made by Arvind Kejriwal himself in court, what is most unfortunate is that the in-jail Delhi Chief Minister is still wound up in the same stale vendetta argument. To convolute his explanations further, Kejriwal is now trying to allege that there's some sort of matrix between electoral bonds and the ED which have come together through the BJP to fix him. No joke, ladies and gentlemen. This is the explanation being given by the Delhi Chief Minister himself in court for Liquorgate. But what Kejriwal is still not being able to digest, in my view, is that the courts will go solely by the evidence, not by the profile of the accused, the intent or the profits his political opponents may reap, or any theory outside the evidence. Kejriwal's custody will be extended so long as the courts are convinced that the ED's evidence is substantial enough. And as of tonight, there is no observation by the Honourable Court in Kejriwal's arrest case that seems to suggest that the ED's evidence is under question. So, ladies and gentlemen, where is all of this going? My reading is that the ED is quickly moving on establishing the scale of the scam. And I had always said...
Welcome back. All's not well within the India Alliance in Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, they used to be called the MVA, and there is a party that is run by Prakash Ambedkar. Prakash Ambedkar had hinted that he will be fielding candidates on his own from the VBA in all constituencies, which would of course impact the Indi chances because his party contesting all seats would have eaten into the Indi Alliance seat share and the vote share perhaps. And here's what the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction insists and what Ambedkar says is the reason why he's decided to go alone in Maharashtra.
में एक बातचीत हुई, पब्लिक मीडिया के सामने उन्होंने जाहिर किया था कि वो लोकसभा पूना की लड़ना चाहते हैं, लेकिन जो राजनीतिक बात मेरे ख्याल से अलग अलग स्तरों पे जो चली है उसको कहीं तो भी कंसोलिडेट करने की हम लोग की कोशिश चल रही है और शायद मेरे ख्याल से हम लोग उसमें सक्सेस हो गए ऐसा मैं मान के चलता हूँ। आज मैं उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कह सकता, लेकिन 2 तारीख के पहले मैं कहूँगा कि उसका पूरा विवरण जो है वो आपके सामने आ जाएगा और उसी के साथ साथ कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसीज और कैंडिडेट
और कौन से दल वहाँ पर लड़ रहे हैं उसकी भी जानकारी आपको दी जाएगी।
क्या महाराष्ट्र में आप तीसरे फ्रंट के बारे में विचार कर रहे हैं क्या?
मैंने जैसे कहा कि अभी कुछ नहीं कह रहा हूँ मैं, 2 तारीख तक रुकिए, इतना मैं कहूँगा आपसे।
महाविकास अघाड़ी से आपकी बातचीत जो है वो किस स्तर पर पहुंची है, क्योंकि वो
थैंक यू।
Well, it's time for a quick break. Income Tax Department issues fresh 1,700 crore notice against Congress party. The Grand Old Party says it will move the top court now. All this and more after a quick break. Do stay tuned.
कांग्रेस को जब से कर्नाटका में मौका मिला है तो इन्होंने कर्नाटका को अपना एटीएम बना दिया है।
Aspersions on the Supreme Court, one of the most revered institutions.
They have not simply got rid of Article 370. They have dismembered the state of Jammu and Kashmir by mischievously misinterpreting both Article 3 of the Constitution and Article 370 of the Constitution.
हम इस जजमेंट से सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है। मेरा मानना यह है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट सुप्रीम जरूर है मगर इनफेलेबल नहीं है। हम अपने एक लीगल हक के लिए लड़ रहे थे। हमको किसी से खैरात की जरूरत नहीं है 5 एकड़ जमीन की।
600 eminent lawyers have now written to the Chief Justice over the issue.
हमारे जैसे वकील हम डिफर कर सकते हैं व्यूज के, जुडिशरी के जो जजमेंट को हम कह सकते हैं कि ये ठीक नहीं किया, परंतु हम उनके कार्य करने के और उनको ये सर्टिफिकेट देने के एंटाइटल नहीं है कि अच्छा कर रहे हैं या गंदा कर रहे हैं। रिलीफ दे दिया तो बहुत अच्छा है, नहीं मिला तो गलत है। हमारी जुडिशरी कानून के अंतर्गत काम करती है।
With even the Prime Minister weighing in on the issue. Not just the government, some even in the opposition backed the move.
It's very alarming and very disturbing to read this story because India is a free country. Our forefathers have fought the British to get freedom into this country, and if in the most important out of the 4 pillars, our judiciary is one of the most critical pillars of our freedom movement, and if that a lot of lawyers feel is compromised, it's extraordinarily alarming and worrisome.
Is there an attempt to selectively undermine the judiciary? Let's debate.
Hello and a very good evening to all our viewers. Thank you for tuning into Republic TV. I'm Deepak Suresh Kumar. First up, the rift between the Mahavikas Aghadi partners is out in the open. Congress's Sanjay Nirupam has upped the ante against Uddhav Sena. Remember, Sanjay Nirupam was the one who called out Uddhav Thackeray, calling him a khichdi chor. This is the most fiery interview of Sanjay Nirupam yet. Listen in. NBA rift out in the open. Congress, Sanjay Nirupam ups the ante against Uddhav Sena.
I am not surprised by it. On one hand, they are calling me somebody who has a red card. On other hand, based on my, my choice of clothing, and on other hand, they would go and do dharna for the rights of burqa, all of that. And then they call themselves liberals as well.
Kangana gives it back after red card. Slur says those who disrespect women do not belong in Mandi. Yet another Congress Neta fires a sexist jibe at BJP's Davangere candidate says women belong in the kitchen. Siddaramaiah's son fires Gunda attack on Union Home Minister Amit Shah. BJP files complaint with the Election Commission. The alliance seals the deal in Bihar. RJD to field candidates on 26 seats. Congress denied Purnia Lok Sabha seat. Viewers, first up in Maharashtra, the Congress versus Uddhav Sena rift is out in the open in an exclusive conversation. Republic TV spoke to top Congress leader Sanjay Nirupam, who has now levelled some scathing charges against Uddhav Sena, saying that the party wants to bury Congress in Maharashtra. Listen in to Nirupam's most fiery interview yet.
जो हमारे महाराष्ट्र प्रदेश के अध्यक्ष हैं, मैंने सुना कि उनका कोई ऐसा बयान आया कि जिसको जाना है जाए, हम इनकी केयर नहीं लेते, वी डोंट केयर फॉर देम। अगर इस प्रकार की भूमिका रहेगी तो शायद आखिर में वो अकेले रह जाएंगे पार्टी में। तो निश्चित तौर पर जिनके हाथ में नेतृत्व है उनको सोचना चाहिए कि पार्टी में जो भी लोग हैं, सब लोग सबकी अपनी अपेक्षा होती है, सबको एक अपना पॉलिटिकल स्पेस चाहिए, और उस स्पेस अगर किसी को नहीं मिल रहा है तो उसके अंदर एक प्रकार की अकुलाहट होगी, एक बेचैनी होगी। तो वो बेचैनी कैसे दूर हो और सब लोग कैसे अपने अपनी योग्यता और प्रतिभा के हिसाब से अपनी जगह पे एक भूमिका निभाते रहें, यह चिंता करना तो नेतृत्व का है। और अगर ये चिंता नेतृत्व नहीं कर रहा है तो निश्चित तौर पर इसके खतरे पैदा होंगे।
एक सवाल काफ़ी अहम है। 2 दिन पहले जो आपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की, उसमें कहा कि मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी को 1 हफ्ते का अल्टीमेटम देता हूं, विचार करें उत्तर पश्चिम सीट को लेकर के और जिस प्रकार से सीट बंटवारा हो रहा है। कहीं ना कहीं महाविकास आघाड़ी में जिस प्रकार से उद्धव गुट का, या ये यूँ कहें कि उद्धव सेना का दबदबा बढ़ते जा रहा है, कांग्रेस पार्टी नेगोशिएट नहीं कर पा रही है, या केंद्र या स्टेट की लीडरशिप विफल रही है नेगोशिएशन में?
निश्चित तौर पर आपने बहुत सही बात कही है कि जो महाराष्ट्र प्रदेश के तरफ से जो नेगोशिएशन के लिए हमारे लीडर लोग बैठते थे, उनका पूरी तरह से फेलियर है ये। आज मुंबई में 6 में से 5 की 5 सीट शिवसेना लेके निकल जा रही है और हमको एक भिखारी की तरह 1 सीट दी जा रही है। तो यह कांग्रेस का अपमान है, कांग्रेस का इंसल्ट है, और मुझे लगता है कि कांग्रेस को खत्म करने का एक षड्यंत्र है। तो जो लोग नेगोशिएशन में बैठते थे, जिसमें प्रमुख तौर पर महाराष्ट्र प्रदेश के अध्यक्ष हैं, जो बहुत ही बदतमीजी से बातें करते हैं अपने कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ और सभी लोगों के साथ, कहीं ना कहीं वो मिले हुए हैं क्या भविष्य में वो खुद शिवसेना में जाने वाले हैं क्या, उबाठा में जाने वाले हैं क्या, या उबाठा में पूरी कांग्रेस पार्टी को शामिल करने वाले हैं क्या? इस प्रकार के सवाल उठ रहे हैं। सवाल मेरी एक सीट का नहीं है। हाँ, मैं मांगूंगा सीट, क्यों नहीं मांगूंगा? मैं एक पॉलिटिकल वर्कर हूं। पॉलिटिकल वर्कर चुनाव नहीं लड़ेगा तो घास छिलेगा। हर पॉलिटिकल वर्कर पूरे 5 साल काम करता है अपने क्षेत्र में, लोगों के सुख दुख में शामिल रहता है, निश्चित तौर पर इस उम्मीद में कि जब चुनाव को वक्त आएगा तो मुझे मौका मिलेगा, मैं चुनाव लड़ूंगा, लोगों का विश्वास अर्जित करूंगा। आप कहेंगे 2 बार हार गए हैं, तो कौन जीता था कांग्रेस से, ये भी जरा बता दीजिए।
आपको खत्म करने की साजिश हो रही है?
खत्म कोई किसी को नहीं कर सकता, ऊपर वाला है, वो संभालता है सबको। तो अगर इस प्रकार के किसी मंशा के साथ जी रहा है कि खत्म कर देना है, तो पता चला अगला आदमी खत्म हो जाएगा।
अल्टीमेटम क्या आपका अभी भी?
अच्छा, हाँ, आपने जो अल्टीमेटम शब्द का मैंने इस्तेमाल नहीं किया था, पता नहीं आप उस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में नहीं थे। मैंने कहा था कि मैं आने वाले दिनों में अपनी भूमिका तय करने के लिए 1 हफ्ते का वक्त अपने आप को दे रहा हूं। इसमें चाहे तो कांग्रेस पार्टी भी एक कोई निर्णय ले सकती है मेरे बारे में। मतलब मेरे पास ऑप्शंस हैं, अब वो कौन सा ऑप्शन लेना है वो 1 हफ्ते के बाद हम तय करेंगे। अभी तो 1-2 दिन गुजरा है, 1-2 दिन के बाद आने वाले दिनों में हम तय करके बताएंगे। लेकिन मैंने ये नहीं कहा कांग्रेस पार्टी को मैं अल्टीमेटम देता हूं, इस प्रकार की भाषा मैं नहीं करता और इस प्रकार की भाषा में विश्वास भी नहीं करता।
क्या आपने केंद्र नेतृत्व को अपनी नाराजगी जताई है, आपने उनको बताया है?
हमारे आज प्रॉब्लम ये है कि एकदम भयंकर कम्युनिकेशन गैप है
कांग्रेस पार्टी।
हाँ, जो केंद्रीय नेतृत्व जिसको आप कहते हैं, उनका अपने राज्यों के लीडरों के साथ कोई कम्युनिकेशन ही नहीं है। जो लोग कुछ पोस्ट पे बैठे हुए लोग हैं, उनके अलावा उनके हिसाब से कोई कांग्रेस का नेता है ही नहीं। तो मैं नहीं कह सकता कि मैं केंद्रीय नेतृत्व से कोई बात कर रहा हूं, क्योंकि मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि वो लोग सामने से फोन कर, हम लोग बहुत बार मैसेज देते हैं, बात करना चाहते हैं, तो कोई बहुत अच्छा एक पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आता। तो ऐसे में कोई भिखारी बनकर के तो दरवाजे पे खड़ा नहीं रहेगा हमेशा। तो ये पूरे हिंदुस्तान में जो अलग अलग राज्यों में कांग्रेस के नेता हैं या कार्यकर्ता हैं या स्थापित नेतृत्व हैं, उनकी पीड़ा मैं आपके सामने रख रहा हूं। सिर्फ मैं अकेला नहीं हूं, बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनका संपर्क, जिनके साथ जो संवाद होना चाहिए नेतृत्व का, वो लगभग खत्म हो चुका है। अगर संवाद है तो 2-4 जो पोजीशन पे बैठे हुए लोग हैं, जो कल को कांग्रेस पार्टी बेच के कहां चले जाएंगे पता नहीं है ऐसे लोगों के साथ है, तो आप उनके साथ संवाद रख के अगर पार्टी को बचाने की कोई ऐसी योजना है तो बचाएं।
इन सबके बीच सबसे अहम जो कड़ी है वो संजय निरुपम है, क्योंकि संजय निरुपम राहुल गांधी के एक टाइम पे बहुत करीब माने जाते थे। आपने भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में भी हिस्सा लिया, मुंबई में हालांकि आप शामिल नहीं हो पाए, लेकिन
मैं भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में था, भारत जोड़ो न्याय यात्रा में था, मुंबई में
आप थे मुंबई में। लेकिन इन सब के बीच आपका राजनीतिक भविष्य क्या होगा? क्या आप कांग्रेस पार्टी छोड़ देंगे? क्या आप किसी विकल्प?
अभी इतना जल्दीबाजी क्या है? जब 2 दिन पहले मैंने ये घोषणा की कि मैं अपने आप को 1 हफ्ते देता हूं आने वाले दिनों में अपना एक नेक्स्ट मूव या अगला कदम उठाने के लिए, तो आज ही इस सवाल का क्या मतलब है? आज मैं आपको कोई जवाब भी नहीं दे सकता। तो थोड़ा सा धीरज रखिए, थोड़ा पेशेंस रखिए और आने वाले दिनों में हम बताएंगे कि आगे का मूव क्या हो सकता है।
क्या आपको केंद्रीय नेतृत्व ने किसी ने संपर्क किया कांग्रेस?
नहीं।
अभी तक किसी ने नहीं।
कोई
अन्य पार्टी के लोग आपसे संपर्क में?
अभी तक ऐसा कुछ नहीं। ठीक है,
कहीं ना कहीं आप विकल्प के बारे में विचार कर रहे हैं?
हाँ तो ठीक है ना। तो भाई हम कोई कॉर्पोरेट कंपनी में काम थोड़ी करते हैं कि एक कंपनी से इस्तीफा देने से पहले दूसरी कंपनी का ज्वाइनिंग लेटर ले लें।
अब साफ हो जाएगी, क्योंकि गोविंदा को भी है उत्तर
एक हफ्ते बाद, पता नहीं वो उधर क्या है मुझे नहीं मालूम है, लेकिन 1 हफ्ते बाद हम आपको बताएंगे कि क्या करना है।
संजय जी, लगातार आपके तरफ से ट्वीट किया जा रहा है, खिचड़ी चोर को टिकट दे दिया, खिचड़ी चोर को टिकट दे दिया, अमोल कीर्तिकर आपके निशाने पे है, गठबंधन धर्म काम नहीं कर रहा है क्या?
नहीं, जब महाविकास आघाड़ी हो या फिर शिवसेना हो, उबाठा हो या फिर कांग्रेस पार्टी हमारी पार्टी हो, सभी लोग भ्रष्टाचार के मुद्दे पर बड़ा हाई मोरल ग्राउंड लेते हैं। तो मैं वो याद दिला रहा हूं कि जिसको हमारे क्षेत्र से उम्मीदवार बनाने की जिद की जा रही है या की गई है, वो खिचड़ी चोर है। वो खिचड़ी चोरी क्या है जरा मैं एक्सप्लेन कर देना चाहता हूं आपके चैनल पे। कोविड के जमाने में जब शिवसेना के जो बची खुची शिवसेना उसके प्रमुख जब चीफ मिनिस्टर हुआ करते थे, तब उस समय की महानगर पालिका ने जो इस शहर में परेशान हाल में जो माइग्रेंट लेबर्स थे, जिनके सामने कोई ऑप्शन नहीं था, जिनके काम धंधा सब बंद हो गए थे, उनके लिए मुफ्त खाना बांटने का एक प्रोग्राम बनाया था, जो बहुत ही अच्छा प्रोग्राम था और मैं उसके लिए बीएमसी का अभिनंदन करता हूं। अब वो गरीब लोगों का भोजन था जो मुफ्त में उनको देना था, वो कुछ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के जरिए दिया जा रहा था। ऐसा आरोप है और ऐसी से पूरी जानकारी मिली है कि उन कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स के जरिए शिवसेना के उम्मीदवार ने दलाली खाई है, उस खिचड़ी सप्लाई में से दलाली खाई है। और उसकी वो सिर्फ मैं आरोप नहीं लगा रहा हूं, इसकी जांच ईडी की तरफ से हो रही है। 1,60,00,000 रुपए का बाई चेक पेमेंट लिया गया। ये सारे सबूत ईडी के पास हैं, मुंबई पुलिस के ईओडब्ल्यू के पास है।
तो समन भी
तो ऐसे में ऐसे व्यक्ति को क्या मजबूरी है, क्या लाचारी है कि आप अपना उम्मीदवार बना रहे हैं। एक दूसरी बात, जब जिस दिन उनका नाम अनाउंस हुआ उसके बाद फिर खबर हमने पढ़ी कि ईडी की तरफ से समन इश्यू हुआ है, और जब समन इश्यू हुआ तो पता चला फरार है भाई। आज फिर दूसरा समन इश्यू हो गया, फिर जिसने मुझे बताया उसने बताया अभी भी फरार है, इसका मोबाइल ऑफ है। तो मैंने कहा भैया दूसरा समन है, उम्मीदवार फरार है, तो जेल से प्रचार करेंगे, ये मेरा सवाल नहीं है। आने वाले दिनों में क्षेत्र के मतदारों की तरफ से, मतदाताओं की तरफ से ये सवाल उठेगा कि प्रचार कैसे होगा। तो आखिर क्या मजबूरी है कि भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जो लोग अभियान चलाने का दावा करते हैं वो भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपी को अपना सेहरा पहना रहे हैं।
लेकिन संजय राउत का जिस प्रकार से स्टेटमेंट आता है, चाहे वो आपको लेकर के हो या जो भी उद्धव सेना को लेकर के बात करता है, बहुत ही विकृत भाषा में वो जो है वो जवाब देते हैं। वो कहते हैं कि संजय निरुपम है कौन, संजय निरुपम नेता ही नहीं है, हम केंद्र नेतृत्व से बात करेंगे।
संजय राउत इतने बड़े नेता हैं, एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर के प्रवक्ता हैं कि उन्हें प्रवक्तागिरी करते करते पहले तो अपनी शिवसेना निपटा दी, उसके बाद एनसीपी को निपटा दिया। आज मैं जो तड़फड़ा रहा हूं वो ये देख करके वो कांग्रेस को निपटाने में लगे हुए, पूरा एमवीए को निपटाने में लगे हुए हैं। और ऐसे महान नेता को बार बार प्रणाम है और सलाम है, उनको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। उनके इस भयंकर एक अभियान के लिए बहुत बड़ी शुभकामनाएं हैं। और अगर अपनी पार्टी ठीक ठाक चलती हुई पार्टी को निपटाने में अगर आपको शौर्य महसूस होता है, गर्व महसूस होता है, तो आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई।
Well, moving on, we're getting in more news from Karnataka. Top Congress leader Shamanur Shivshankarappa has now stoked a fresh controversy with his sexist and misogynistic remark. Remember, Shivshankarappa said that women must be restricted to kitchen while he was reacting on Davangere's BJP candidate. Listen in. Well, Prajwal Prasad is joining us live on this broadcast. Prajwal, on one hand, we have Chief Minister Siddaramaiah announcing a slew of, schemes for women in Karnataka, like free bus rides, and the head of every family, a women head of every family will be paid a certain amount every month. But on the other hand, we have his own party leader making such sexist and misogynistic remarks, saying that women should only be restricted to the kitchen. You know, Deepak, in fact, why don't we have that rebuttal by Gayatri Siddeshwara as well? Because she's summed it up for Shamanur Shivshankarappa as well as the entire Congress party too. It is not only the state of Karnataka. Remember, it has been for ages that the Congress party has now and again been targeting women as well. Started off with Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who went ahead and called President Draupadi Murmu a sycophant. Later, it was Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his latest, where he targeted Shakti and he used unparliamentary language. We are also going ahead and looking at the latest, Supriya Srinate calling Kangana Ranaut in unparliamentary language by a sexist post which was put on her social media handle too. And now Shamanur Shivshankarappa seems to have joined in the troop as well, and therefore the BJP states that this is not a problem with one particular neta in the Congress party. It on the whole reflects the Congress party's mindset as well, and they have always been against women too, but it is only a facade that they are going ahead and announcing women-centric schemes as well. You were pointing out towards the Shakti scheme, you were pointing out towards the women, the Gruha Lakshmi scheme as well, head of women household getting 2,000 rupees too. So all this seems to be more of a facade if Congress netas go ahead and give such statements now and again too. And the discourse has gone so below the belt that women are feeling, the women representatives of either of the party do not in fact want to speak about that, and they're distancing themselves from the entire episode or the event, stating that this was so uncalled for by our netas too. And in fact, there has been criticism from their own party as well, where many of the women have also gone ahead and stated that this should not have been made to. And therefore now it is also being understood that a delegation of the BJP might also go ahead and file a complaint with the National Commission for Women too. So if they are also involved in this, it will not come as a surprise. But all said and done, look at Shamanur Shivshankarappa's age over here. 93 years old, 7-time legislator, 3-time minister, going ahead making such remarks. This is absolutely something which is very shocking, and he's also forgotten the fact that his own daughter-in-law Prabha Mallikarjun is being fielded against Gayatri Siddeshwara in Davangere. So why all this? Only for the sake of politics? Or do you have some sort of personal remarks that you need to go ahead and make? This is definitely quite shameful, Deepak, and better late than never. We are expecting that Shamanur Shivshankarappa might respond and he might tender an apology, realizing his mistake. Right, Prajwal, 7-time MLA and also a very key face in the Congress party of Karnataka. Shamanur Shivshankarappa's statement now, derails his entire legacy so far, because he has been a very respectable face in the Karnataka Congress, a top face for the Lingayat community as well. But looking at his statement, the voters of Karnataka are keenly watching as to what statements the Congress leaders are making. And they've also seen what kind of statement Shivraj Tangadigi also made. It's all going against the Congress's narrative. In fact, Republic also spoke to BJP candidate Gayatri Siddeshwari, who's now hit back at the top Congress leader after the comment. Let's listen into her reaction as well.
ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಲಾಯಕ ಅಮ್ಮ, ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಯಾವ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರೋ ಅಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನೂ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲೂ ಅವರು ಮುಂದುವರೆದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಜ್ಜಂಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೂ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಟು ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿರಿಯರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿಸಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳುಗಳಿಗೆ ತಿನ್ನಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಆ ಕೈ ತುತ್ತು ಕೊಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ತಾವು ಬಂದು ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲ ಮೇಲೆ ತಾವು ನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ ಮೋದಿಜಿಯವರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಶಿವಶಂಕರಪ್ಪನವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಲಾಯಕ ಅಮ್ಮ, ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಯಾವ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರೋ ಅಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನೂ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲೂ ಅವರು ಮುಂದುವರೆದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಜ್ಜಂಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೂ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಟು ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿರಿಯರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿಸಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳುಗಳಿಗೆ ತಿನ್ನಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಆ ಕೈ ತುತ್ತು ಕೊಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ತಾವು ಬಂದು ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲ ಮೇಲೆ ತಾವು ನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ ಮೋದಿಜಿಯವರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ
whether or not Shivshankarappa will clarify remains to be seen. Let's shift our focus on other election-related stories that we are tracking. While interacting with party workers from Tamil Nadu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised the hard work and dedication of his Karyakartas. He said that they will be blessed by the people of Tamil Nadu in the upcoming Lok Sabha polls and will continue to address the issues of the state. Telugu Desam Party announced its final list of candidates for 9 assembly seats and 4 Lok Sabha seats today. The list comes days after TDP, BJP and Jansena sealed a seat-sharing pact in Andhra Pradesh, which has 25 Lok Sabha seats and 175 assembly seats. Vikramaditya Singh of the Himachal Pradesh Congress unit has questioned Mandi candidate Kangana Ranaut over her absence when the constituency was hit by a natural calamity. He said that it was the Congress MP Pratibha Singh who met the people and undertook the responsibility for their safety and rehabilitation, whereas Ranaut was only shown up before the elections.
मैं आज भी कंगना रनौत जी से ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि मंडी की आप बेटी तो हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है, मगर जब मंडी के अंदर इस दशक की सबसे बड़ी आपदा आई, क्या वो एक भी दिन मंडी के एक भी इलाके में लोगों से मिलने आई?
Lok Sabha MP and BJP candidate from Amravati, Navneet Rana, confidently asserted that she will win the upcoming polls in her constituency and further the Prime Minister's vision of Ab Ki Baar 400 Par. Earlier, Rana met the Union Home Minister Amit Shah in the national capital with her husband, Ravi Rana.
जिंदगी में एक न्यू इनिंग की शुरुआत की है, तो उनका आज आशीर्वाद लेने आई थी और अमरावती करों की तरफ से उनको ये विश्वास दिलाने आई थी कि अब की बार 400 पार जो मोदी जी का सपना है इस देश में और देश के लोगों का सपना है कि 400 पार इस बार मोदी जी के सपने को लेकर आगे बढ़ना है, वही 400 पार में एक अमरावती ज़रूर रहेगा और आशीर्वाद लिया उनका आज मैंने.
BRS MP K. Keshav Rao is set to rejoin the Congress and has expressed excitement over his return. He said that the grand old party had earlier bestowed upon him several responsibilities and that he looks forward to take the party's vision forward. Well, it's time for a quick break, but on the other side, we'll tell you more about the India Alliance's seat-sharing deal in Bihar because RJD has announced 26 candidates. Congress gets 9 seats, but it has been denied Purnia seat. Along with that, mega showdown in Andhra Pradesh as TDP workers go on a complete rampage over ticket denial. All this and more after a short break. Do stay tuned.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
And now it's time for the nation's sharpest opinion. The Rouse Avenue Court has extended Arvind Kejriwal's custody till the 1st of April. And Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party have got a support club in America now. I don't think it's disconnected from Rahul Gandhi's democracy in danger rant when he went to America last year. In fact, it seems very similar to me and quite odd that before a general election, Washington is supporting Kejriwal. The Biden government is supporting the Congress party. What both Kejriwal and Rahul Gandhi should know is that the Cambridge Analytica model of campaigns is over and that the Indian electorate decides the fate of a democratic exercise. But that side back home today, Kejriwal himself threw everything at it. So much so that he began to argue himself before the court. Unfortunately for him, the Delhi court further extended his custody. And if we go by the kind of argument being made by Arvind Kejriwal himself in court, what is most unfortunate is that the in-jail Delhi chief minister is still wound up in the same stale vendetta argument. To convolute his explanations further, Kejriwal is now trying to allege that there's some sort of matrix between electoral bonds and the ED which have come together through the BJP to fix him. No joke, ladies and gentlemen. This is the explanation being given by the Delhi chief minister himself in court for Liquorgate. But what Kejriwal is still not being able to digest, in my view, is that the courts will go solely by the evidence, not by the profile of the accused, the intent or the profits his political opponents may reap, or any theory outside the evidence. Kejriwal's custody will be extended so long as the courts are convinced that the ED's evidence is substantial enough. And as of tonight, there is no observation by the Honorable Court in Kejriwal's arrest case that seems to suggest that the ED's evidence is under question. So,
BJP candidate from Mandi Lok Sabha seat, an actor turned politician, Kangana Ranaut said the Congress cannot accept her nomination from Mandi and resorting to cheap politics. Earlier today, she conducted a road show and told the gathering to treat her as their own sister and daughter and not as a celebrity.
वो मंडी जिसका नाम ऋषि मांडव के नाम पर रखा गया है, वो मंडी जहां पे पराशर ऋषि ने इतनी तपस्या की, वो मंडी जहां शिवरात्रि का सबसे बड़ा मेला होता है, इस मंडी की बहन बेटियों के बारे में इस तरह की सोच रखना कितनी नीचता की बात है।
National President of Hindustani Awam Morcha and NDA candidate from Gaya, Chetan Ram Manji, took a dig at the India Alliance, saying that the alliance has no vision like the Prime Minister and their purpose is only about greed and personal interest and not patriotism.
भारत की जो बिहार की जनता, भारत की जनता ये समझती है कि नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के सामने ये जो एनडी गठबंधन है, जिसको घमंडिया गठबंधन भी हम लोग कहते हैं, इनका कोई उद्देश्य नहीं है, निरुद्देश्य चल रहे हैं।
Daughter-in-law of senior Congress leader and former Union Minister Shivraj Patil, Archana Patil Chakurkar, met BJP leader and Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra Devendra Fadnavis today. She is likely to join the BJP tomorrow. RJD, Congress and left leaders hold a joint press conference and announce seat allocation for the Lok Sabha polls. RJD will contest on 26 seats, while Congress will fight on 9 seats and the left will field its candidates on 5 seats in Bihar. BJP and JDS held a State Coordination Committee meeting today in which all the leaders of both parties were present. Former Prime Minister H.D. Deve Gowda said that the alliance will fight the Congress in the upcoming polls and defeat it by winning all the 28 seats. United People's Party Liberal President Pramod Poro said that Congress will lose Lok Sabha elections. He added that the Congress party has no vision or mission to take the nation forward, and even the public is convinced that Congress cannot lead the country.
See, Congress is going to lose this election, and lose means I don't think that there will be, any position of the Congress in the nation. It is not because of others. It is because of their own, some wrong decision and wrong policies that their leader has lost the guts,
Time for a quick break, but on the other side, we'll tell you more about the India Alliance's seat-sharing deal in Bihar. RJD gets 26, Congress gets 9, but denied Purnia seat left. Along with that, mega showdown in Andhra Pradesh as TDP workers go on a complete rampage over ticket denial. Do stay tuned for all the latest updates.
हिंदू धर्म में शक्ति शब्द होता है। हम शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं, एक शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं।
इंडिया अलायंस ने अपना घोषणा पत्र शक्ति को खत्म करने के लिए किया है। मैं इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करता हूं और मैं इन शक्ति स्वरूपा माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए जान की बाजी लगा दूंगा।
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Controversy is raging around the Supreme Court once again. So much controversy around the country's highest court all the time is not good. And most unfortunately, all this controversy happens every time on the eve of every election, especially the general elections. And the Supreme Court of India is willy-nilly dragged into political issues, and that's not good either. It's very bad. I've always maintained that it is wrong to use the Supreme Court rooms to fight political battles. But it happens all the time. And now it's getting very intense, the political controversies around the Supreme Court. 600 lawyers saying that there is a concerted attempt to surround the Supreme Court with pressure tactics. Pressurize the courts, to smear the courts. And with all of this happening, with the hashtag Supreme Court controversy, we must address this burning issue. What are these political parties fighting about? If the fight is over money and access to money, if the fight is over whether some parties are getting more money and others are getting less money, and the fight is over whether you got more money, I got more money, you got these many crores, I got these many crores, ladies and gentlemen, fight it out in the public arena. Why make the Supreme Court the center over a fight over money?
Good evening and welcome, friends. This Friday, 7 p.m. biggest story tonight, in which we are going to focus on what's up with the United States and Germany for poking nose in what is essentially an internal dynamic of India's democracy playing out in the case of Arvind Kejriwal arrest and the investigation that's on in Delhi Liquorgate. Why is it that twice question gets asked of the German Foreign Office spokesperson and the US State Department, and both time they are almost compelled to answer. Why is it that the same person is asking question of the US State Department and the United Nations? Is there some concerted attempt to tarnish India's democracy as we head into the world's largest democratic exercise in electioneering? We'll focus on that. Let me get you the headlines first. Kangana gives it back after rate card slur, says those who disrespect women don't belong to Mandi. Income Tax Department issues fresh 1700 crore notice against Congress party, says will move top court now. India's insult politics continues. Siddaramaiya's son fires Gunda attack on Home Minister Amit Shah. Politics over Gangster Mukhtar Ansari's death. Samajwadi Party and Congress allege conspiracy. After United States and Germany, now the United Nations wades into Kejriwal arrest row. And from AI to UPI, Prime Minister and Bill Gates discuss India's digital revolution. A day after India said Washington's call for fairness in legal cases related to opposition parties was unwarranted and unacceptable, the United Nations has now waded into the controversy, saying the world hopes everyone is able to vote in the country's parliamentary elections in a free and fair atmosphere, as if they have any responsibility of something which we have been doing for the last 7 decades and more. Look at this package on what exactly has transpired, then I'll come back with somebody talking about what's really happening.
UN after US and Germany raising questions about India's democracy. India taking a strong exception.
Yesterday, India had lodged its strong objection and protest with the senior official from the US Embassy with regard to the comments made by the US State Department. The recent remarks by the State Department are unwarranted.
Questioning of democracy leading to a diplomatic tiff.
Ich komme zurück auf den Fall des verhafteten Oppositionspolitiker Arvind Kejriwal. Nachdem Ihr Kollege den Fall am Freitag kommentiert hat, wurde der stellvertretende Botschafter in Delhi vom dortigen Außenministerium einbestellt.
Also Indien und Deutschland ein großes Interesse an einer vertieften Kooperation haben und da auch vertrauensvoll zusammenarbeiten. Insofern würde ich jetzt ungern hier aus vertraulichen internen Gesprächen berichten.
All of it seems to be an orchestrated attack on India's democracy. And the face of the campaign, Bangladeshi politician journalist Mushfiqul Fazal Ansari. Ansari wanted in his country for spreading disinformation and booked under terror charges. But the question that remains is, who is behind the malign India attack campaign? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
देखिए, प्राथमिकता जैसे इन्होंने बताया कि हमारा जो है क्षेत्रवाद कोई नहीं होगा, सब क्षेत्र का जो है वो इक्वल डेवलपमेंट होगा।
आपके ओपोनेंट रानी खड़ी हो सकती है, रानी प्रतिभा सिंह जो मैदान में आ रही है, 5 साल में वो यहाँ पर रही हैं, सांसद के तौर पर उन्होंने काम किया है, लेकिन हाँ ना जो है उनकी अभी चल रही है, अभी तक फाइनल नहीं हुआ है।
देखिए, मैं तो ये कहूँगी कि अगर उनको अब रेस्ट ही ले लेना है तो वो भी अच्छा है, क्योंकि हमारे पेरेंट्स के टाइम से वो चले आ रहे हैं। अब नए यंग लोगों को भी मौका मिलना चाहिए, मुझे तो ये लगता है। और वो जैसा आप कह रहे हैं, वो खुद भी श्योर नहीं है इस चीज़ को लेके। तो अब जैसे हम लोग भी अब आगे आ रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि एक नई ऊर्जा के साथ नए चेहरे भी आने चाहिए राजनीति में। जैसे कि जो भाजपा है वो बहुत सारे नए चेहरों को राजनीति में ला रही है।
अगर वो आती है तो मुकाबला मानोगे, आपकी मुकाबला उनके साथ है अगर वो आती है?
बिल्कुल, डेफिनेटली। हम लोग पूरी पार्टी में जो है, हमारा अब की बार 400 पार, ये हमारा प्रण है और ये प्रण को हम पूरा करके रहे, हम पीछे नहीं हट सकते।
कंगना जी, आप अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में ही करेंगे या और भी कहीं जाएंगे? क्या वो भी प्रोग्राम?
जो हमारे लिए हुक्म होगा हम वही करेंगे। अब हम लोग ये पूरे कार्यकर्ता की सेना से जुड़ चुके हैं और हमें जहाँ भेजा जाएगा हम वही जाएंगे।
आप स्टार्टअप से रिलेटेड हैं, मानते हैं जब पब्लिक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बनते हैं तो चैलेंज आता है, चैलेंज कर रहे हैं या इट्स अपॉर्चुनिटी?
नहीं, हर एक चीज का एज होती है, एक फेज होता है। एक टाइम था जब स्टार बनना उसमें ज़्यादा मन लगता था। अब इतना लोगों ने दिया है, इतनी लोकप्रियता दी है, इतना, जैसा कि सर ने कहा कि अगर हमारा फेस जो है यहाँ का उद्धार करा सकता है तो फिर हम लोग क्यों हम भी आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, हम भी लोगों की सेवा में जाना चाहते हैं। हर जिंदगी का एक अलग पहलू होता है। वोट भी टाइम अच्छा था, ये भी बहुत अच्छा है। ये नहीं सोचते कि वो कैसा था और ये कैसा है।
सुप्रिया को कोई जवाब देना चाहेंगे या जनता जवाब?
मैंने कहा है कि मंडी की जनता जो है वो सुप्रिया को जवाब देगी, मैं जवाब नहीं दूंगी।
और राहुल गांधी भी
उनको जवाब मिल जाएगा। उनको जो है हमारे बैठे हुए हैं, जो केंद्र में बैठे हुए हैं, 400 पार का जवाब वो देंगे। धन्यवाद।
बॉलीवुड की शेरनी अब हिमाचल की शेरनी बनने वाली है।
देखिए, हिमाचल की सारी लड़कियां मैं कहती हूँ कि पहाड़ी लड़कियां, पहाड़ी भाई बहन जो हमारे हैं, बड़े बहादुर, बड़े मेहनती लोग हैं सबके सब। इसीलिए मैं चाहती थी कि मुझे यहाँ लोगों की सेवा करने का मौका मिले। धन्यवाद।
तो खींचिए उसको।
All right, that was Kangana Ranaut addressing media in Mandi. But earlier, she spoke exclusively to Republic's Harsha Chandwani and addressed issues around the rate card slur that has been hurled at her by Supriya Srinath of the Congress party, as also as a daughter of Mandi, what people should be expecting from her after she wins the election, as she said. Listen in.
Look, as you can see, I have not transformed in any way. If you could have seen me like 2 or 3 days ago when my candidature was announced, I'm just the same person. I'm wearing my same clothes, the way I go to direct on my film sets. I'm just the same person. In fact, today people are saying that I have joined BJP, but for a couple of years now, people are accusing me of being a BJP party person, like
pro-Hindu mindset. They always talk about.
Yes, and I've been actively fighting for BJP agendas because I resonate with the party, I resonate with the ideology and overall aesthetics of the party. I don't see any significant changes in my life apart from the fact that I am now in the field and I am, I am looking for an active approval from people.
How do you want to respond, Kangana, to the sexist remark and the rate card remark which was posed to you by the Congress politician? And she didn't even apologize about it. She just made an excuse that someone else was handling her Instagram account. How do you see those remarks on you post that?
Look, I mean, of course, it's beyond appalling to I think probably this is the lowest level of mindset or the thinking where you ask a woman, what is the rate of her, like what's her rate? It's the lowest level of thinking. It's, there is no argument about that, and everybody feels so, regardless of her wanting or not wanting to apologize. But to me, am I taken aback? Am I surprised? I am not surprised by it because the way Congress party has always, have been conflicted in their very fundamental ideologies is rather, natural for them because on one hand they are calling me somebody who has a rate card, on other hand based on my my choice of clothing, and on other hand they would go and do dharna for the rights of burqa, all of that, and then they call themselves liberals as well. So they've been very conflicted and confused about what they want to be, who they want to align with, and who they want to resonate or appeal to. So I'm not surprised by this sort of a confused, brain foggy sort of a thinking that they are displaying.
Did it hurt you or affect you, and how do you see this Mandi Lok Sabha where Pratibha Singh is contesting against you? She will be contesting, there's no announcement of the name right now, but she says that where was Kangana Ranaut when there was a disaster in Mandi?
Look, how do I say this remark? Of course, like you are a woman, and you can, if you consider yourself in such a situation, you would be definitely very upset, and in a way, you'll double think you're venturing into a place where you will be vulnerable to all sort of attacks on your character and your worth. But having said that, the huge amount of support that I got is encouraging. And how do I... Pratibha ji. She has been a very senior politician. I think when we were growing up, from the time of my parents, they were in the, but I think I resonate with the BJP's idea of launching new people, and I think Congress party should also, because Pratibha ji has been very uncertain about, and I think somewhere I read that she thinks that she doesn't have enough, the age factor, she said something like that, right? Like she doesn't want to contest. Because of her age, something like that she said. I think I read that. I'm sorry if I'm being mistaken, but I think that's a good idea, because look, like we've seen her in our childhood when we were like really young, and now we are also getting grey hair. So I think high time that
we want to be the change.
Even from that side, we like to have a more young, dynamic person. But if not, I'm not saying that I don't have, I do have a lot of respect for what they've done. But high time that new people are given a chance. And your question was that where was I? I was shooting, because they chose people and they should have been here when it was flooded. I was not the chosen person to represent by any party. So I was minding my own business, so to speak. And apart from that, the area was flooded. It was not safe to come here. And only it was also life-threatening to be traveling to this place for a significant amount of time when the tragedy struck. Did we lose? Yes, my sister lost her house. Yes. We lost many things. There were a lot of damages that happened. But we were hoping that the leadership that has been chosen from here, they do visit the lower areas also, but they were completely absent from here. So this question is better suited to people who were in power, not me.
All right. Some would say Kangana Ranaut is the newsmaker of the day with the kind of attention she has been getting post the Congress attack on her. She putting across her stand. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bill Gates discussed digital revolution in India, as well as strides in health, agriculture and education sectors. Prime Minister also highlighted the G20 vision and how India brought G20 goals to mainstream. A snippet of that hour-long conversation that Prime Minister had with Microsoft founder Bill Gates. Listen in.
Well, the G20 is way more inclusive, and so it was fantastic to see that India, in hosting it, really raised things like digital innovation and how this South-South collaboration can be far more than just the dialogue with the North. It can actually be a system that improves health. And our foundation is so excited about the positive results that you've achieved here in India that we'll be a partner in trying to take that into many other countries.
आपकी बात सही है। जब मैं इंडोनेशिया में भी G20 में गया था, तो दुनिया के सभी देशों की क्यूरियोसिटी ये थी कि आपने ये डिजिटल रिवॉल्यूशन कैसे लाया है। और तब मैं उनको समझाता था, एक तो मैंने इस टेक्नोलॉजी को डेमोक्रेटाइज कर दिया है, ये किसी की मोनोपोली नहीं रहेगी, ये जनता का होगा, जनता के द्वारा होगा, और जनता में जो भी उभरती हुई टैलेंट इसमें वैल्यू एडिशन करेगी, वो करती चलेगी, ताकि कॉमन मैन को भी टेक्नोलॉजी पर विश्वास पैदा होना चाहिए। जैसे 10 डॉक्टर होते हैं, सब MBBS होते हैं, लेकिन एक डॉक्टर के पास ज़्यादा लोग जाते हैं क्योंकि उसका भरोसा बन गया है।
In areas like digital government, India is not only adapting technology, but it's actually leading the way. What are some of the things you're excited about?
Health, agriculture and education. मैंने जो आरोग्य मंदिर बना है, 2 लाख आरोग्य मंदिर आयुष्मान आरोग्य मंदिर विलेजेस में, ये जो मेरे हेल्थ सेंटर है उनको मैं डायरेक्टली मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी से बेस्ट हॉस्पिटल के साथ उनको जोड़ देता हूँ। पहले शुरू में उनको लगता था कि डॉक्टर तो है नहीं, मुझे देखे बिना कैसे बताता है, लेकिन बाद में उनको समझ आया कि टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट और सैकड़ों किलोमीटर दूर बैठा हुआ डॉक्टर भी उनको सही डायग्नोसिस कर रहा है, सही एडवाइस कर रहा है। तो लोगों का कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ रहा है। जितना बड़ी हॉस्पिटल में होता है उतना ही छोटे आरोग्य मंदिर में हो रहा है। तो ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म की कमाल है। और दूसरी बात एजुकेशन, मैं बच्चों को बेस्ट एजुकेशन पहुंचाना चाहता हूँ। टीचर की जो कमियां हैं उसको मैं टेक्नोलॉजी से भरना चाहता हूँ। दूसरा, बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट विजुअल में है, स्टोरी टेलिंग में है, तो उस प्रकार के कंटेंट बनाना, उस दिशा में मैं काम कर रहा हूँ ताकि बच्चों को लगना चाहिए। और मैंने कुछ सर्वे किया, मैंने देखा बच्चों को बड़ा मजा आ रहा है। मेरे यहाँ एग्रीकल्चर में भी मैं बहुत बड़ा रिवॉल्यूशन ला रहा हूँ और मैं माइंडसेट बदलना चाहता हूँ।
All right, Prime Minister having that engaging conversation with Bill Gates also discussed digital revolution in India as well as its strides in health, agriculture and education. And we have seen how he was talking about some aspects of technology which he has used in his governance. Let's listen into another one of the snippets coming out of that hour-long interaction.
क्लाइमेट को लेकर के हम बात कर रहे थे। भारत, मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि हम रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के क्षेत्र में बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। सोलर एनर्जी, विंड एनर्जी, हम काफ़ी काम, हम न्यूक्लियर के अंदर काफ़ी तेजी से आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। उसी प्रकार से ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन को हम बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। मैं तमिलनाडु में था तो हमने एक हाइड्रोजन से चलने वाली बोट मैंने वहाँ से रवाना की, जो काशी में मेरे जो टूरिस्ट आते हैं उनके लिए ये एनवायरनमेंट फ्रेंडली, पॉल्यूशन फ्री ये बोट काशी से अयोध्या के लिए चलाने के लिए मैंने सोचा है, ताकि क्लीन गंगा की मेरी जो मूवमेंट है उसको भी मदद मिलेगा। एनवायरनमेंट कॉन्शियस सोसाइटी के लिए भी वहाँ से एक मैसेजिंग होता रहेगा।
Well, India brings to the climate change a rich history of caring about the environment. How do you see connecting those?
हमारे यहाँ रीयूज, रिसाइकल ये हमारे नेचर में है। अब देखिए, ये जो जैकेट है ये रिसाइकल मटेरियल का है, लेकिन ये रिसाइकल मटेरियल की भी विशेषता है। इसकी विशेषता ये है, जो टेलर के यहाँ कपड़े के टुकड़े निकलते हैं ये सारा वेस्ट इकट्ठा किया हुआ है। फिर जो पुराने कपड़े हैं उसको भी इसमें लिया हुआ है, और 30-40% वेस्ट प्लास्टिक बोतल को लिया हुआ है, और उन सबको रिसाइकल करके ये कपड़ा बना है।
Yeah, the innovation both here in India and the world is coming along. Are the goals that we set, staying below 1.5 degrees, we probably will miss that. Even 2 degrees isn't going to be so easy. And the thing you and I really emphasized in Paris is the need for innovation. If the green approach can be made as cheap or cheaper than the old approach, then the adoption will be very good. If it's more expensive, it's not clear who's going to be willing to pay for that. Should the rich countries pay for that? It's not fair to tell India to slow down, building basic infrastructure just because the West had those emissions. But you'll have to have some adaptation because there will be some warming, particularly which farmers will have to take into account.
मुझे लगता है कि हमने 2-pronged strategy की तरफ जाना चाहिए। एक तो है इनोवेशन, और इनोवेशन में हमारी जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं वो क्लाइमेट फ्रेंडली कैसे हो, नेचर फ्रेंडली कैसे हो, उसमें इनोवेशन हो। भारत ने अभी अपने इस बजट में 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का कॉर्पस फंड बनाया है, और यंग जनरेशन को हमने कहा है कि आप इनोवेशंस के लिए आइए, 50 साल तक इंटरेस्ट फ्री लोन हम देंगे।
Right, on that note, we slip into a short break. On the other side, Income Tax Department issues fresh 1,700 crore notice to the Congress. Party says we'll move top court now. Politics over Gangster. Mukhtar Ansari's death. Samajwadi Party and Congress alleged conspiracy.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
कांग्रेस को जब से कर्नाटका में मौका मिला है तो इन्होंने कर्नाटका को अपना एटीएम बना दिया है।
मुर्दाबाद मुर्दाबाद ग्रामीण बलियाबाद मुर्दाबाद मुर्दाबाद।
Another controversy has hit the posh Ashoka University. A video of students raising caste slogans has gone viral, where they can be heard demanding caste census on campus and shouting anti-Brahmin and anti-Banya slogans. Former Infosys Chief Financial Officer Mohandas Pai has questioned caste hatred in the university, seeking intervention of the Union Education Minister. Following the uproar on social media, the Ashoka University has issued a statement deploring hatred against any individual or group. It assured measures to ensure peace and harmony is not disturbed. Why is posh casteism prevailing in the poshest university? Has reverse casteism become a fad?
दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी भाषा तमिल भाषा हिंदुस्तान की है। मैं दुनिया को बताना चाहता हूं, सबसे पुरानी भाषा का गर्व प्राप्त है, वो मेरी तमिल भाषा है।
हिंदू धर्म में शक्ति शब्द होता है। हम शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं, एक शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं।
इंडिया अलायंस ने अपना घोषणा पत्र शक्ति को खत्म करने के लिए किया है। मैं इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करता हूं और मैं इन शक्ति स्वरूपा माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए जान की बाजी लगा दूंगा। कांग्रेस को जब से कर्नाटका में मौका मिला है तो इन्होंने कर्नाटका को अपना एटीएम बना दिया है।
Well, moving on, we're getting in more news from Karnataka. Top Congress leader Shamanu Shivshankarappa has now stoked a fresh controversy with his sexist and misogynistic remark. Remember, Shivshankarappa said that women must be restricted to kitchen while he was reacting on Davangere's BJP candidate. Listen in. Well, Prajwal Prasad is joining us live on this broadcast. Prajwal, on one hand, we have Chief Minister Siddaramaiah announcing a slew of schemes for women in Karnataka, like free bus rides, and the head of every family, a women head of every family, will be paid a certain amount every month. But on the other hand, we have his own party leader making such sexist and misogynistic remarks, saying that women should only be restricted to the kitchen.
You know, Deepak, in fact, why don't we have that rebuttal by Gayatri Siddeshwara as well? Because she's summed it up for Shamnur Shivshankarappa as well as the entire Congress party too. It is not only the state of Karnataka. Remember, it has been for ages that the Congress party has now and again been targeting women as well. Started off with Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who went ahead and called President Draupadi Murmu a sycophant. Later, it was Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his latest, where he targeted Shakti and he used unparliamentary language. We are also going ahead and looking at the latest, Supriya Srinate calling Kangana Ranaut in unparliamentary language by a sexist post which was put on her social media handle too. And now Shamnur Shivshankarappa seems to have joined in the troop as well, and therefore the BJP states that this is not a problem with one particular neta in the Congress party. It on the whole reflects the Congress party's mindset as well, and they have always been against women too, but it is only a facade that they are going ahead and announcing women-centric schemes as well. You are pointing out towards the Shakti scheme, you are pointing out towards the women, the Gruha Lakshmi scheme as well, head of women household getting 2,000 rupees too. So all this seems to be more of a facade if Congress netas go ahead and give such statements now and again too. And
Right, on that note, we slip into a short break. On the other side, Income Tax Department issues fresh 1,700 crore notice to the Congress. The party says we'll move top court now. Politics over Gangster Mukhtar Ansari's death, Samajwadi Party and Congress alleged conspiracy.
दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी भाषा तमिल भाषा हिंदुस्तान की है। मैं दुनिया को बताना चाहता हूं, सबसे पुरानी भाषा का गर्व प्राप्त है, वो मेरी तमिल भाषा है।
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Controversy is raging around the Supreme Court once again. So much controversy around the country's highest court all the time is not good. And most unfortunately, all this controversy happens every time on the eve of every election, especially the general elections. And the Supreme Court of India is willy-nilly dragged into political issues, and that's not good either. It's very bad. I've always maintained that it is wrong to use the Supreme Court rooms to fight political battles. But it happens all the time. And now it's getting very intense, the political controversies around the Supreme Court. 600 lawyers saying that there is a concerted attempt to surround the Supreme Court with pressure tactics. Pressurize the courts, to smear the courts. And with all of this happening, with the hashtag Supreme Court controversy, we must address this burning issue. What are these political parties fighting about? If the fight is over money and access to money, if the fight is over whether some parties are getting more money and others are getting less money, and the fight is over whether you got more money, I got more money, you got these many crores, I got these many crores, ladies and gentlemen, fight it out in the public arena. Why make the Supreme Court the center over a fight over money? What is this fight about, really? Is it about whether the PMLA Act should be used against scam kingpins? Then why drag the courts into it? Were other people like Naresh Trehan or Jet Airways or Wadhwans of DHFL who are accused of grave misdeeds themselves not held under the same laws?
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Microsoft founder Bill Gates discuss at length the digital revolution in India. The Prime Minister also cautioned against AI misuse and deepfakes. PM said its AI-generated content should have a watermark in order to combat the issue of deepfakes. PM Modi highlighted India's strides in various sectors of India, including health, agriculture and education. Bill Gates lauded India's digital revolution and said India is not only adapting technology but is actually leading the way. Prime Minister Modi also presented Bill Gates with the Vocal for Local gift hamper in exchange for nutrition books gifted by Microsoft CEO. Both were engaged in a long conversation discussing artificial intelligence, digital infrastructure, COVID-19, G20 summit and more. BJP candidate from Mandi Lok Sabha seat, actor Kangana Ranaut, said that Congress cannot accept her nomination from Mandi and hence are resorting to cheap politics. Earlier today, she conducted a road show and told the gathering to treat her as their own sister and daughter and not as a celebrity. In yet another controversial remark by Congress party's leader, Karnataka Congress MLA Shamanur Shivshankarappa insulted women and said they should be restricted to the kitchen. The Congress MLA criticized BJP's women candidate from Davangere Lok Sabha constituency and demanded another face. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's wife Sunita Kejriwal in a video message announced a WhatsApp campaign, Kejriwal Ko Ashirwad. Kejriwal's wife urged people to send blessings and prayers to the Delhi Chief Minister. United Nations waded into row over Arvind Kejriwal's arrest. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he hopes that everyone's rights are protected, including political and civil rights, and everyone is able to vote in an atmosphere that is free and fair. RJD, Congress and left leaders held a joint press conference and announced their seat allocation for the Lok Sabha elections. RJD will contest on 26 seats while Congress will fight on 9 seats and left will field its candidates on 5 seats. TDP announced its final list of candidates for 9 assembly seats and 4 Lok Sabha seats today. The list comes days after TDP, BJP and Janasena party sealed a seat-sharing pact in Andhra Pradesh, which has 25 Lok Sabha seats and 175 assembly seats. The Ministry of Home Affairs sanctioned a CBI inquiry against former Delhi Minister and AAP leader Satyendra Jain under the Prevention of Corruption Act, alleging involvement in an extortion racket inside the jail. The investigation implicates Jain and former Tihar Jail DG Sandeep Goel in a high-profile case of corruption and abuse of power. NIA has arrested a suspect identified as Pasha in Rameshwaram cafe blast case, who reportedly used dark web to fund the cafe bomber. Pasha provided logistical support to the alleged mastermind of the cafe blast. The National Investigation Agency has announced 10 lakh rupees cash reward for sharing information leading to the arrest of key accused in Bengaluru's Rameshwaram cafe blast case. Mukhtar Ansari's son Umar Ansari has demanded that his father's autopsy should be done by doctors from AIIMS Delhi. He called Mukhtar Ansari's death an orchestrated murder and not a natural death. Union Minister Anurag Thakur slammed opposition parties over Mukhtar Ansari's death, saying BSP, SP and Congress should stop doing politics on incidents like this. Anurag Thakur also added that judicial inquiry will be done if they demand for it. The Income Tax Department issued a demand notice of 1,700 crore rupees to the Indian National Congress. The fresh demand notice is for the assessment years 2017-18 to 2020-21 and includes a penalty and interest. Congress to stage a nationwide protest on the income tax notice to the Congress party. Now, Congress's General Secretary directed all the state units to demonstrate at PCC headquarters and at District Congress Committee headquarters on the issue tomorrow. Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri lashed out at Congress, saying the party has not filed income tax from past 17 years. The Union Minister added that rule of filing income tax return every year is for everyone and no party or party member is free from it. As Lok Sabha poll is around the corner, Rahul Gandhi said Congress will reserve 50% of government jobs for women if the party is voted to power. In an attempt to woo voters, Rahul said women will change the dynasty of the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while interacting with BJP workers in Tamil Nadu, hailed women karyakartas for their hard work ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. PM Modi said BJP is committed to make India the third largest economy in the world and women will play a crucial role in it. During a rally in Bijnor, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership over the past 10 years. He emphasized that advancing towards a developed Uttar Pradesh would further enhance the Prime Minister's vision of a developed India. BRS MP K. Keshav Rao is all set to rejoin the Congress and has expressed excitement over his return. He said that the grand old party had earlier bestowed upon him several responsibilities and that he looks forward to take the party's vision forward. The Indie bloc has received the permission from the Election Commission and the police to organize rally at Delhi's Ram Leela Maidan against the arrest of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Top leaders said the alliance partners will participate in the rally. Over Lok Sabha ticket denial to TDP leader JC Prabhakar Reddy, the TDP workers vandalized Anantapuram party office. The party workers torched the furniture kept inside the office. Former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister and RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav said that Lok Sabha election results in Bihar will be surprising. He called the RJD Congress left Mahagathbandhan as a strong alliance. 6 convicts received life imprisonment in the BSP MLA Raju Pal's murder case as a CBI special court delivered justice. The accused face 4 years imprisonment and a fine of 20,000 rupees in illegal arms possession, marking a significant development in the legal proceedings. In the wake to strengthen bilateral cooperation between India and Ukraine, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar held a meeting with Foreign Minister of Ukraine at the Hyderabad House in the national capital. Both the leaders discussed on the ongoing conflict and its wider ramifications. The Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been extended for an additional 6 months in 4 districts of Assam, namely Tinsukia, Dibrugarh, Charaidio and Shivasagar, starting from April 1st. BJP lodged a complaint with the State Election Commission against Chief Minister Siddaramaya's son. The complaint was filed against Yatindra Siddaramaya over his derogatory remarks against Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Western Command of Indian Army conducted an exercise to validate integrated anti-aircraft weapon systems. The exercise by the Airavat Gagan Rakshaks aims to destroy aerial targets including swarm drones in preparation for future warfare. An avalanche in the vicinity of Hung Sonammarg, Jammu and Kashmir has resulted in the stranding of several tourists, prompting immediate rescue operations. The avalanche struck near the Hung locality and it covered many vehicles with snow. The STRF was also present at the spot. Former US President Barack Obama, Bill Clinton and some prominent personalities from the entertainment world teamed up to help US President Joe Biden raise record $26 million for his re-election campaign. Obama praised Biden's willingness to look for common ground and said Biden is the kind of president he wants. New York City officials announced a pilot program to deploy portable gun scanners in the subway system. The New York police are taking efforts to deter violence in the underground transport network in a bid to make the people feel safer. The The Israeli military said it is continuing the precise operational activity in the area around the Shifa hospital. IDF claims to have eliminated terrorists and located weapons and terror infrastructure in the area. US General says the Biden administration has not given Israel all of the weapons it has requested for. US officials have been under pressure to use the ongoing delivery of weapons as a leverage to get Israel to increase the humanitarian aid in Gaza. Japan's chief cabinet secretary spoke out against Russia's veto at the United Nations. Russia's veto ended monitoring of UN sanctions against North Korea over its nuclear program. South Africa's former president has been barred from contesting the upcoming elections in May. The country's Electoral Commission has not provided a reason for the decision. The investigators are aboard the collapsed ship for the investigation. Independent federal agency tries to determine the cause of the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. French President Emmanuel Macron and Brazilian President signed more than 20 agreements relating to the area of science, technology and innovation. The aim of the agreements, according to Brazil's government, is to strengthen the scientific cooperation in the area of biodiversity. China's foreign ministry urged the US to cease what it called illegal unilateral sanctions. This comes after US reportedly lobbied its allies to stop providing key chip-making tools to some Chinese companies. A volcano in southwestern Iceland erupted several times against the backdrop of the northern lights. The eruption site is a few kilometers northeast of the Grindavik in a coastal town with 3,800 people. Russian President Vladimir Putin held a meeting with permanent members of the Security Council to discuss partnership with other countries. Putin stressed that building relations with its closest partners is of greatest importance for Moscow. The Russian city of Belgorod came under attack again from Ukrainian forces. According to local governor, there were no casualties reported in the attack. Thousands of Palestinian worshippers crossed from the West Bank to Jerusalem, to pray at the revered Al-Aqsa Mosque compound on the third Friday of Ramadan. The mosque has been put under tight security and entrance has been restricted to the state. The UK government stated that the Oscar-winning director of Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, and his wife and producer Emma Thomas will receive a knighthood and damehood for their services to the film industry. The Who's Tommy is back on Broadway just 30 years after the musical adaptation of the band's 1969 rock opera premiered on stage in New York. Dee Murray scored a career-high 44 points, including a go-ahead jumper in the final second of overtime. The basketball team Atlanta Hawks gained victory over the Boston Celtics. During the tennis Miami Open quarterfinals, Grigor Dimitrov of Bulgaria, playing one of the best matches of his career, knocked out Alcaraz in straight sets. Now, Alcaraz was riding a 9-match win streak and coming off a title at Indian Wells. Thailand's golfer Pajare Annanarkugan took a one-shot lead after the first round of LPGA 4 Championship in Gilbert, Arizona. World number 1 Nelly Korda is 3 shots back at 6 under as she tries to become the first LPGA Tour player. Basketball player Masataka Yoshida bagged his first double of the new season, helping his Boston Red Sox beat Seattle Mariners. Now, the Japanese had 33 doubles last season. The Texas Rangers unfurled a World Series championship banner for the first time in the franchise's history. Banner was unveiled ahead of the Rangers' opening day matchup against the Chicago Cubs at Globe Life Field.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
Right, we are joined in by Mr. Andrew Middleton. He's Director of Apostles of the Sea, Baltimore. And I believe that's the port where the Dali tragedy happened, leading to the collapse of the bridge. Very good morning to you, Mr. Middleton, there in Baltimore. Good evening from India. And we heard about the tragedy, and we have seen reports about your involvement with some relief and rescue subsequently. Can you tell us what really exactly happened and how you came to know about this? Some dramatic visuals there for the world to see.
Okay. So yeah, we're a ministry to seafarers in the port of Baltimore. On Sunday morning, the crew reached out to me, asking if we could transport them to shopping as they were preparing to sail to Sri Lanka, and they wanted to be able to buy personal items, toiletries, and those kind of things, just little creature comforts that they could have for what was going to be an extended voyage down and around South Africa. So we were able to take them, volunteer was able to take them shopping on Sunday for about 5 or 6 hours. They went to Walmart, Target, and Best Buy. They came back to the Seafarer Center for a little while. They went through our library and took some books and magazines so that they would have those to read on board while they were at sea. Monday morning, they reached out to me again and said they had 2 people that wanted to go shopping before they sailed. I was actually visiting ships that day, so I was able to take those 2 out. One of whom was the captain. During our drive to the shopping center, Captain and I had conversation. And he pretty much, that was at that point was when he told me that they were sailing for Sri Lanka, and they were going to take a route around South Africa in order to avoid the Yemen coast and the Houthi attacks and all the violence that's going on in that area. If I remember correctly, he said that taking that route was adding, I think, 7 extra days to the voyage. But in my conversation with the volunteer that took them out on Sunday and my interactions on Monday, everyone seemed happy and not overly stressed about the length of the trip or where they were going.
Anything about the possibility of some tech glitches? I mean, what was in all the conversations that you had, did you get a sense that maybe they have some issue to tackle before they set sail for the voyage?
Welcome back, viewers. Now, Republic had an exclusive conversation with the day's biggest newsmaker, Kangana Ranaut, from the fight for Mandi to the rate card politics. Listen in as Kangana gets candid with the biggest pre-election interview.
Look, as you can see, I have not transformed in any way. If you could have seen me 2 or 3 days ago when my candidature was announced, I'm just the same person. I'm wearing my same clothes, the way I go to direct on my film sets. I'm just the same person. In fact, today people are saying that I have joined BJP, but for a couple of years now, people are accusing me of being a BJP party person. Like
Pro-Hindu mindset, they always talk about you.
Yes, and I've been actively fighting for BJP agendas because I resonate with the party, I resonate with the ideology and overall aesthetics of the party. I don't see any significant changes in my life apart from the fact that I am now in the field and I am, I am looking for an active approval from people.
How do you want to respond, Kangana, to the sexist remark and the rate card remark which was posed to you by the Congress politician? And she didn't even apologize about it. She just made an excuse that someone else was handling her Instagram account. How do you see those remarks on you post that?
Look, I mean, of course, it's beyond appalling to I think probably this is the lowest level of mindset or the thinking where you ask a woman, what is the rate of her, like what's her rate? It's the lowest level of thinking. It's, there is no argument about that, and everybody feels so, regardless of her wanting or not wanting to apologize. But to me, am I taken aback? Am I surprised? I am not surprised by it, because the way Congress party has always, have been conflicted in their very fundamental ideologies is rather, natural for them, because on one hand they are calling me somebody who has a rate card, on other hand based on my my choice of clothing, and on other hand they would go and do dharna for the rights of burqa, all of that, and then they call themselves liberals as well. So they've been very conflicted and confused about what they want to be, who they want to align with, and who they want to resonate or appeal to. So I'm not surprised by this sort of a confused, brain foggy sort of a thinking that they are displaying.
Did it hurt you or affect you, and how do you see this Mandi Lok Sabha where Pratibha Singh is contesting against you? She will be contesting, there's no announcement of the name right now, but she says that where was Kangana Ranaut when there was a disaster in Mandi?
Look, how do I say this remark? Of course, like you are a woman, and you can, if you consider yourself in such a situation, you would be definitely very upset, and in a way, you'll double think you're venturing into a place where you will be vulnerable to all sort of attacks on your character and your worth. But having said that, the huge amount of support that I got is encouraging. And how do I... Pratibha ji. She has been a very senior politician. I think when we were growing up, from the time of my parents, they were in the, but I think I resonate with the BJP's idea of launching new people, and I think Congress party should also, because Pratibha ji has been very uncertain about, and I think somewhere I read that she thinks that she doesn't have enough, the age factor, she said something like that, right? Like she doesn't want to contest. Because of her age, something like that she said. I think I read that. I'm sorry if I'm being mistaken, but I think that's a good idea, because look, like we've seen her in our childhood when we were like really young, and now we are also getting gray hair. So I think high time that
we want to be the change.
Even from that side, we like to have a more young, dynamic person. But if not, I'm not saying that I don't have, I do have a lot of respect for what they've done. But high time that new people are given a chance. And your question was that where was I? I was shooting, because they chose people and they should have been here when it was flooded. I was not the chosen person to represent by any party. So I was minding my own business, so to speak. And apart from that, the area was flooded. It was not safe to come here. And only it was also life-threatening to be traveling to this place for a significant amount of time when the tragedy struck. Did we lose? Yes, my sister lost her house. Yes. We lost many things. There were a lot of damages that happened. But we were hoping that the leadership that has been chosen from here, they do visit the lower areas also, but they were completely absent from here. So this question is better suited to people who were in power, not me.
Moving on, viewers, addressing a rally in Bijnor, Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath hailed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership over the past decade. He said that Modi ki guarantee is implemented without any discrimination, which is why 15 crore poor people have been the beneficiaries of his developmental schemes. He also asserted that a push for Viksit Uttar Pradesh will amplify PM's vision of Viksit Bharat. Listen in.
और उत्तर प्रदेश को जो आशीर्वाद प्राप्त होता है, इसीलिए हमने कहा महात्मा विदुर के नाम पे मेडिकल कॉलेज बनना चाहिए, और आज मैं आपको बधाई दूंगा कि आपका मेडिकल कॉलेज बनकर के तैयार हो चुका है। अब आप देखें, मेडिकल कॉलेज के साथ साथ यहाँ की सड़कों को, हाईवे 4 लेन की कनेक्टिविटी कितनी अच्छी बेहतरीन कनेक्टिविटी के साथ हो रही है। यहाँ पर अन्य हर एक सेक्टर में यहाँ की ओडीओपी आज एक नई पहचान बना रही है। आज यूपी में बेटी और व्यापारी दोनों सुरक्षित है। पर्व और त्योहार शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से मनाए जा रहे हैं। कहीं कोई अराजकता नहीं है। अयोध्या धाम में आप देख रहे होंगे और काशी में काशी विश्वनाथ धाम में अब तक 2 करोड़ लोगों ने पिछले 2 महीनों के अंदर दर्शन कर लिया। उत्तर प्रदेश में पहले लोग नहीं आना चाहते थे, आज पूरा देश आने के लिए आपको दिखाई दे रहा है। प्रतिदिन अयोध्या में 1 लाख, 1.5 लाख, 2 लाख तक श्रद्धालु आ रहे हैं दर्शन करने। ऐसे ही काशी में भी इतने लोग प्रतिदिन आ रहे हैं। अनुमान करिए, जहां पहले कोई नाम सुन के डरता था, आज लाखों की संख्या में आ रहे हैं लोग दर्शन कर रहे हैं, सुरक्षित माहौल में वापस जा रहे हैं। व्यापारी का व्यापार फल फूल रहा है, पूरी मजबूती के साथ अपने कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ा रहा है। और इसी में मोदी जी ने भी संकल्प किया है विकसित भारत। मोदी जी का संकल्प है विकसित भारत की परिकल्पना को साकार करना, उस संकल्पना के साथ हर भारतवासी को जोड़ना। विकसित भारत बनेगा कब? जब उत्तर प्रदेश विकसित होगा।
इंडी अलायंस वाले लोग बार बार जानबूझकर हिंदू धर्म का अपमान करते हैं। इनका हर बयान बहुत सोचा समझा हुआ होता है।
Right, we are joined in by Mr. Andrew Middleton. He's Director of Apostles of the Sea, Baltimore. And I believe that's the port where the Dali tragedy happened, leading to the collapse of the bridge. Very good morning to you, Mr. Middleton, there in Baltimore. Good evening from India. And we heard about the tragedy, and we have seen reports about your involvement with some relief and rescue subsequently. Can you tell us what really exactly happened and how you came to know about this? Some dramatic visuals there for the world to see.
Okay. So yeah, we're a ministry to seafarers in the port of Baltimore. On Sunday morning, the crew reached out to me, asking if we could transport them to shopping as they were preparing to sail to Sri Lanka, and they wanted to be able to buy personal items, toiletries, and those kind of things, just little creature comforts that they could have for what was going to be an extended voyage down and around South Africa. So we were able to take them, volunteer was able to take them shopping on Sunday for about 5 or 6 hours. They went to Walmart, Target, and Best Buy. They came back to the Seafarer Center for a little while. They went through our library and took some books and magazines so that they would have those to read on board while they were at sea. Monday morning, they reached out to me again and said they had 2 people that wanted to go shopping before they sailed. I was actually visiting ships that day, so I was able to take those 2 out, one of whom was the captain. During our drive to the shopping center, Captain and I had conversation. And he pretty much, that was it. At that point was when he told me that they were sailing for Sri Lanka and they were going to take a route around South Africa in order to avoid the Yemen coast and the Houthi attacks and all the violence that's going on in that area. If I remember correctly, he said that
Good evening and welcome, friends. Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari died of a heart attack in a Banda jail, in Uttar Pradesh. And after that, we have seen some voices coming in, or noises coming in, of sympathy for him, of support for him, and demand of a probe into the circumstances of his death. The question is, who are these people? Same set of people who looked the other way when the Don made a mockery of law and order in eastern Uttar Pradesh, in the Prayagraj, Varanasi, Mau belt, for their narrow political objectives. Or these are some set of people who fancy about Mukhtar Ansari as a wonderful host who served chicken biryani. Ironically, these are same set of people who would say that if you connect chicken biryani with Muslims, you are sort of marginalizing them, typecasting them. Let's try to understand why this sympathy mongering for a gangster. In fact, if you have to ask a question about what was the real face of Mukhtar Ansari, is speak to Piyush Rai, the son of Krishnanand Rai, the BJP MLA who was killed by Mukhtar Ansari's gang because he won a democratic election against his brother Afzal Ansari, who happens to be a sitting MP, in fact, of the outgoing Lok Sabha. Or ask those who had to live day to day out of fear, give Hafta and Chauth to the Ansari gangs in those geographies just to be able to survive without harm. We'll ask those questions. Let's begin with the headlines first. Gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari's death sparks political firestorm, with opposition sympathizing with Ansari. Kangana gives it back after rate card slur, says those who disrespect women don't belong to Mandi. Income Tax Department issues fresh 1700 crore notice against Congress party, says will move top court now. India's insult politics continues. Siddaramaia's son fires Gunda attack on Home Minister Shah. After United States and Germany, now United Nations wades into Kejriwal's arrest route. All right, welcome back, friends. A gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari has died while in custody due to a cardiac arrest while serving a life sentence at the Banda jail in Uttar Pradesh. Ansari, a former 5-time legislator, was facing about 63 criminal cases involving murder, kidnapping and extortion. For every one case, there must have been at least 10 of his criminal acts which went unnoticed or unaccounted because those who suffered had fear of the gangs or the Ansari gangs in those geographies. However, there is a lobby that seems to be sympathizing with the Mafia Don. Here's a report and then I come back to discuss.
Lodged in different jails of Punjab and Uttar Pradesh for most of the time since 2005, Mukhtar Ansari was once among UP's most dreaded Bahubalis, a Hindi word for strong men who are into politics. Ansari, convicted in at least 8 criminal cases since 2022, was sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment for the 2005 sensational murder of BJP MLA Krishnanand Rai. Rai had defeated Mukhtar's brother and 5-time MLA Afzal Ansari from Mohammadabad in 2002 UP Assembly polls. Gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari has now died while in custody due to a cardiac arrest while serving the life sentence at Banda jail.
और मेरा मानना है कि बाबा भोलेनाथ का आशीर्वाद ऐसे ही मेरे पे और मेरे माता जी पे बना है।
अरे कहना क्या है, यही है कि बाबा की आशीर्वाद है। आज मैं हमेशा बाबा के दरबार में न्याय के लिए करती थी, आज न्याय मिला है हमको। देखिए होली के त्योहार हम लोग इस घटना के बाद नहीं मना पाते थे, आज हमको लगा कि नहीं, हमारे लिए आज का दिन होली का ही दिन है।
His death has now sparked a political firestorm, with the opposition sympathizing with Ansari.
इस परिवार से हमारे बहुत अच्छे रिश्ते थे और ये परिवार शायद आज़ादी की लड़ाई में भी इस परिवार का बहुत बड़ा योगदान था। अगर जेल में किसी की मृत्यु होती है तो उसकी जिम्मेदारी प्रशासनिक अधिकारी, जेल से लेकर के सरकार से लेकर सबकी जिम्मेदारी है।
As Ansari's death marks an end of 4 decades of crime and torture, the question is, why is the lobby crying foul? Why is Mukhtar Ansari's blood-soaked politics being normalized? That is the burning question.
All right, you saw those pictures of Mukhtar Ansari in his heydays, atop a jeep and making a complete mockery of whatever the government believes is law and order. In fact, there are some pictures where he's carrying a machine gun in his hands, and in fact, the officer who arrested him while purchasing a machine gun was unceremoniously suspended and later forced to resign from services. He's going to be there at 9 p.m. on the debate with Goswami, DSP Shailendra Singh. But joining me for this conversation, Desh Ratan Nigam, political analyst, leans towards the right. We also have Naval Kant and Hemant Tiwari, both senior journalists who have covered the badlands of Uttar Pradesh from Lucknow for a long time, and they have an understanding of what Mukhtar Ansari's death means for that geography in eastern Uttar Pradesh. And we also have Abbas Haider, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and I would want to begin with you, Abbas Haider. The kind of emotion that one could sense in that soundbite of Shivpal Yadav, your party's leader, that kind of emotion, we never saw SP leaders sparing for the victims of the criminal acts conducted by those connected with Mukhtar Ansari in the 1990s and 2000s, even Mukhtar Ansari himself. Abbas Haider, that's real double standards. You think of your own narrow political objectives, not for the people, the citizens living
it's not about,
in those
it's
areas
not about politics.
where they had to face the brunt of Mukhtar Ansari and his gangs.
No, it's not about politics. See, Mukhtar Ansari has been a 5-time legislator in Uttar Pradesh, and as we all know, it is a basic political courtesy that we all extend to each other. Even in the parliament, you never question the Prime Minister. When in the parliament, a tribute was given to Atiq Ahmed, and UP Assembly, a tribute was given to Atiq Ahmed and his brother Ashraf. So these are the basic political courtesy which we may extend to anybody who has died, who has been a legislator with he has been legislator with Shivpal. So it is a very normal thing, one thing. But the bigger question is about the law and order, about the situation in Uttar Pradesh, because the deaths in judicial custody has been the maximum in Uttar Pradesh. There have been more than 952 people who have died in judicial custody in just 2 years in Uttar Pradesh. The crimes are increasing, it's rampant, and it is a responsibility of the state to protect anybody who is in the custody of the government, who is behind the bars. The people who are on the road, they are not protected, they are not feeling safe, and neither the people who are behind the bar, they are not protected. And this is not the first time which has happened to anyone who has been in the police custody. And there have been questions which have been raised from the family of Mukhtar Ansari that, he has been given poison. There was a letter given to the court in Barabanki that he has been given poison. But I think in time, no due action was taken. This is a very serious issue. This is not just about Mukhtar Ansari or one political prisoner. It's about many people who are in jail. Because, as we have all seen, that, there have been shootouts inside the jails. There have been multiple such incidents, which should not happen, we believe.
Okay, since you are saying that the law and order situation is really bad and we should be talking about that, let's try to understand the history sheet of Mukhtar Ansari. As I said, for every one case that was registered and that went through legal judicial investigation process, there must have been at least 10. And let me go to Nawal Khan ji first. Nawal Khan, आप बताएं कि मुख्तार अंसारी का डेथ होना, उसके मायने क्या हैं प्रयागराज, वाराणसी, मऊ, गाजीपुर के लोगों के लिए जो 1990 के दशक में और 2000 के दशक में मुख्तार अंसारी का वो चेहरा देखते हैं जिसको सोच के शायद अभी भी सिहर जाते होंगे।
देखिए, मुख्तार अंसारी के दो पक्ष हैं। एक पक्ष ये है कि वो एक उत्तर प्रदेश के गैंग नंबर 191 का सरगना था। दूसरा पक्ष ये है कि वो चुनाव जीतकर विधानसभा में पहुंचा था। दोनों रसूख आपसे मैं उसका डिस्कस करना चाहूंगा। देखिए, उसके खिलाफ 65 से ज्यादा मामले दर्ज हुए थे, 21 से ज्यादा मामले चल रहे थे, लेकिन उसके खिलाफ कोई सजा नहीं होती थी। उसके खिलाफ उसको खाली जेल में बंद कर दिया जाता था, लेकिन कोर्ट से कुछ नहीं होता था। लेकिन पिछले कुछ सालों में, मैं कहूंगा कि मात्र 1.5 सालों में 7-8 केसों में उसको सजा हो चुकी है, जिसमें से 2 उम्र कैद की सजा है। तो जाहिर सी बात है, उसका बड़ा रसूख था, बड़ी ताकत थी। और नंदलाल ढूंढा का अपहरण आपको याद होगा, वो हिंदू पंथ नेता थे और बड़े बिजनेसमैन थे। देखिए, जब पॉलिटिशियन उत्तर प्रदेश के, मैं आपको बताऊं कि यहाँ पे जब नेता जो अपराधी थे, बाहुबली थे, वो पहले नेताओं को जिताते थे, फिर उनको लगा मैं खुद क्यों नहीं जीत सकता हूं। उसके बाद इस तरह के गैंगस्टर आना शुरू हुए और एक जैसे पॉलिटिक्स में होता है कि हिंदू वोटर और मुस्लिम वोटर, इसी तरह का माहौल पूर्वांचल में भी हुआ। और एक तरफ मुख्तार अंसारी अतीक थे, एक तरफ ब्रिजेश सिंह, कृष्णानंद राय और तमाम लोग थे। इस तरह का पूरा माहौल क्रिएट हुआ था। लेकिन राजनीति की दखल आप इस तरह से समझ सकते हैं कि जो 2009 का वाराणसी का चुनाव, लोकसभा का चुनाव हुआ था, उसमें जो मुरली मनोहर जोशी बीजेपी के प्रत्याशी थे और अंत तक लग रहा था लगातार वो पीछे चल रहे थे मुख्तार अंसारी से, और लास्ट में वो जीते हैं, तब जीते हैं जो इस समय कांग्रेस के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष है अजय राय, वो भी कांग्रेस से चुनाव लड़ रहे थे। और उन्होंने, चूंकि उनकी भी दुश्मनी रही है मुख्तार से, तो उन्होंने अपने वोट, ये कहा जाता है कि डलवाए मुरली मनोहर जोशी को, तब मात्र 20,000 वोटों से जीतते थे। तो राजनीतिक रसूख भी मुख्तार अंसारी के पास है। हम लोग के लिए हो सकता है माफिया हो, लेकिन एक बड़ा तबका है खासतौर से पूर्वांचल में, वो उसको मसीहा मानता है। और इसी जो मसीहा वाली ताकत है, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूं, हाँ, मैं कह रहा था कि जो उसकी मसीहा वाली ताकत है, वही नेताओं को, खासतौर से जो सेकुलर पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं, या सीधे सीधे शब्दों में कहें जो मुस्लिम वोटों की पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं, वो आकर्षित करती है। और इसी वजह से आप देख रहे होंगे कि इस मामले में, जिसमें अभी क्लियर भी नहीं है कि अभी इसकी जांच भी होनी है, और जो घोषित सरकार की तरफ से किया गया है कि उसकी मौत हार्ट अटैक से हुई है, उसको छोड़ करके लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं कि कह रहे हैं, ट्वीट कर रहे हैं कि ये जो है एक तरह की हत्या है, कस्टोडियल हत्या। कस्टोडियल बेटा, अगर मुझे 10 सेकंड दे तो एक बात और मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि वो तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में आएगा जी। और ये देखिए, आप इसका सोचिए ना कि वो तो पिछले दिनों में आएगा 51 कस्टोडियल हत्या हुई। 51 इस 7 साल 8 साल के योगी के कार्यकाल में 65 हुई थी समाजवादी पार्टी के कार्यकाल में। लेकिन 65 और 51 को जोड़ लीजिए तो अब तक कितनों में विपक्ष ने मुद्दा उठाया है कस्टोडियल डेथ का।
ठीक है, सही बात है। पर जो मेरे को बात समझ में आ रही है, मैं हेमंत तिवारी जी से पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये जो रॉबिनहुड वाली इमेज बनाई जाती है, जैसे अभी नवल खान भी कह रहे थे कि माफिया की जो एक छवि थी कि वो मसीहा हैं कुछ एक तबके के, जिसको राजनीतिक पार्टियों ने, दोनों ने, समाजवादी पार्टी और बहुजन समाजवादी पार्टी ने भुनाया। तो और फिर ऐसे में माफिया को लगता है कि भाई हम नेता को जिताते हैं तो हम खुद ही बन जाएं। और उन्होंने जो 4 नाम दिए, उदाहरण दिए कि बहुत सारे पूर्वांचल में बने, मुख्तार अंसारी उसमें से एक थे। पर ये जो बात हम करते हैं माफिया के मसीहा होने की, ये मीडिया क्रिएशन नहीं है हेमंत तिवारी? जमीन पे जो लोग सफर करते हैं, आम आदमी, उनसे पूछिए।
कुछ खास मामलों में शायद कम है, एकदम से नहीं है तो नहीं कह सकते हैं, कारण है कि आप अगर गाजीपुर मऊ इन इलाकों में जाइए तो एक खास कम्युनिटी के लोग इनको अपना मसीहाई मानते हैं, ये सच्चाई है। लेकिन एक बड़ी चीज जो मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, Navalkant mentioned the incident of 2009 general elections, and what I personally feel, the same scenario is going to be repeated in this ongoing general elections. ये 2009 में एक चीज बताना भूल गए कि जब मुरली मनोहर जोशी लगभग चुनाव हार रहे थे लोकसभा का वाराणसी में, मतलब नरेंद्र मोदी के जाने के पहले 5 साल पहले जो चुनाव हुए थे, जब लगा कि मुरली मनोहर जोशी चुनाव हार रहे थे, तो उस वक्त वहां बड़ा मैसेज गया और एक लोकल पोलराइजेशन हुआ। तो लोकल पोलराइजेशन, फिर से बता रहा हूं, स्थानीय स्तर पर धार्मिक आधार पर ध्रुवीकरण हुआ और हिंदू वोट एक हो गए। अभी जो हो रहा है, अभी जो सीन में आज पूरे दिन भर देख रहा हूं, कल उनके डिमाइस के बाद, वो भी इसी लाइन पे जा रहा है। चाह रहा है जिनको मुसलमान मतों की जरूरत है वो अपनी सिंपैथी दिखा रहे हैं, चाहे किसी पार्टी के नेता हो, तो मुख्तार अंसारी के लिए, और मुख्तार अंसारी के लिए अगर सिंपैथी की बात करेंगे और ये चीज मुसलमानों के बीच जाएगी तो जाहिर सी बात है उन सारे इलाकों में इसकी विपरीत प्रतिक्रिया होगी, रिवर्स रिएक्शन, जिसको हम कहते हैं पोलराइजेशन। तो मुख्तार अंसारी की मौत एक साधारण घटना के तौर पर मैं नहीं देखता हूँ, बहुत बड़ी बात बता रहा हूँ, मैं साधारण घटना के तौर पर नहीं देखता हूँ। मुख्तार अंसारी इस बात के सिंबल हो गए हैं, जो पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटीज आप देखी गई, जो रिएक्शंस देखे गए, कि मुख्तार अंसारी 2024 के पार्लियामेंट्री इलेक्शन में उत्तर प्रदेश की जमीन पर, खास तौर से ईस्टर्न यूपी में एक बड़ा इशू हो सकते हैं। इशू क्या होंगे? इशू होंगे तो स्वाभाविक रूप से सपा या बसपा, खासतौर से सपा जिनको मुस्लिम वोटों की वाकई दरकार है, मुस्लिम वोटों की ओर ज्यादातर है भी, इसमें कोई शक नहीं, तो वो सिंपैथी लेने की कोशिश करेगा। उसका जो रिएक्शन होगा तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बिना कुछ किए धरे बैठे बैठाए इसका लाभ होगा। उत्तर प्रदेश का इतिहास, इसका रिसेंट पास्ट इस बात का गवाह रहा है। इसलिए मैं इस बात की आशंका और संभावना, आशंका तो हटाए, मैं इसकी संभावना देखता हूं कि मुख्तार अंसारी अपने मरने के बाद भी एक बड़ा पॉलिटिकल इशू बनने जा रहे हैं। जी
Hemant Tiwari, you have given a very deep journalistic understanding of the consequences of this development. But what is my takeaway is that essentially what we are already seeing, Deshratan Nigam, is that there is brazen political opportunism already panning out in the form of the support and sympathy that's being showered on the family of Mukhtar Ansari. In a way, it's unfortunate, Deshratan Nigam. It's not sympathy, you see. It's absolute brazen political manipulation of the death of Mukhtar Ansari. And then we have some people who talk about, with nostalgia, the kind of chicken biryani Mukhtar Ansari used to serve them, irrespective of, and they would be willing to, or they were willing to overlook his criminal antecedents just because they were happy being with a Don and for whatever reasons enjoy that company, unfortunately. Deshratan Nigam. Deshratan Nigam, can you unmute yourself? We are not getting you.
Yes. Sorry. Abhishek, let me make it very clear that the underworld and the world of crime has lost a gangster, a mobster, and a murderer, extortionist, a rioter, and a terrorist, and whose shoes cannot be allowed to be filled by anybody, whosoever high he may be. And that is where the role of the Yogi government comes into the picture, which they are capable of ensuring that such kind of shoes, criminal shoes, are never filled. Secondly, the first case was lodged in 1978, and the conviction, because of the political patronage that the Samajwadi Party gave and many other political parties were in cahoot with such kind of mafia dons, the witnesses used to get hostile or they were, abducted or murdered. Finally, the conviction took place after 44 years in 2022, and there are 8 other convictions. And he had gone for life. There was no chance of his coming out of the jail, and therefore, I don't think there would be anybody interested in murdering him. And he was gone for good. And therefore, to create such kind of, atmosphere while trying to create a martyr of a criminal is abhorrent and should be, avoided at all cost. And such kind of sympathy, there should not be any sympathy for such people. And please remember his role in Mau riots.
Absolutely.
And he was brazenly moving with, guns on an open jeep. This was his role, and the society has to think very seriously and introspect ourselves, whether they are from Muslim community or Hindu community. Such elements and the Robin Hood kind of propaganda which is being spread should never be there, because those who live by fire die by fire, and the karmic cycle today is complete. You get punished for your crimes in this world only. Please remember that. And anybody who's trying to get political mileage of it are playing with fire. Let me tell you, if you polarize, there has to be counter polarization. So don't play into that.
It seems both the sides, the SP and the BSP little openly, and the BJP maybe silently, because as Hemant Tiwari mentioned, that if a polarization happens of the minority community, a counter polarization ipso facto happens from the majority community also. Abbas Haider, 2 points come out of this. One, that what is being seen as sympathy is actually not sympathy, but absolute brazen manipulation to polarize and to benefit from this development, from this death of Mukhtar Ansari. And two, Abbas Haider, you are absolutely silent on the fact that for 20 years, 30 years, n number of crimes went unpunished. It's only now that the government resolved and convictions started happening that you are questioning the law and order. It's actually double standards, Abbas Haider.
No, Sheikh, I would like to answer both of your questions. First of all, it is not sympathy, it is a concern of the opposition that extrajudicial killing, or if a person dies in a judicial custody, there is a suo motu, there is a standard.
Can't we wait till the investigation is over for that?
No, that an inquiry.
Abbas Haider.
I'm sorry? I'm audible to you?
I'm saying, can't we wait for the investigation to be over before we come to a conclusion whether this is extrajudicial, etc.? Because remember, there is a probe already ordered, a magisterial probe ordered. There is a post-mortem that has happened.
Yeah, so that's the operating procedure. That's nothing new. Basically, we have requested for our inquiry under the Supreme Court's guidance, so that there shouldn't be, because here big names have been taken. He has taken names of big fishes. So basically, you cannot expect an independent inquiry. So that is one thing. It's not just about one person. It is about people who are behind bars, people who are in jails. It is about the security of many politicians, CMs and former chief ministers.
Okay.
They are in jail. We have seen. What about them? If similar thing might happen to them, God forbid. So there has to be something. There has to be particular procedure which needs to be followed. And in this case, you have seen that on the 26th, he was taken to a Banda Medical College where no physician was available, as the family has said. There was a surgeon over there, and in 14 hours he was discharged. Normally, a patient from ICU shifted to a general ward, as we all know. But he was then sent back to jail. So there has been something which draws attention, which is of prime concern to anybody. And we are not saying that a person who has committed a crime.
But Abbas Haider, you are papering over.
Paying his price in the jail. He was paying his price in the jail. But that does not mean that
Abbas Haider,
judicial killing that cannot be expected in a rule of law like us. We are not China, neither Russia, neither we can ever be Russia or China. We are India. We are a democratic
country. Okay, Abbas, you see, you are jumping the gun, I think. Abbas, you are jumping the gun. Abbas, you are jumping the gun. But I'll come to you, Deshratan Nigam.
And things should be brought to the table, that what has really happened.
There is already an inquiry going on. Trust the process to be completed. Then you can raise questions, and you of course have the option of going to the Supreme Court. Nobody is stopping you and the family. But Abbas Haider,
but you are 2005 when Samajwadi Party.
Yes, that's a more important one.
He has followed the due process. After that, he has got convicted 2-3 years back. So and what about other cases? There are people who have got 106 cases. Even Mukhtar Ansari he was a witness in one of the cases against these people. He won 106 cases. He is protected by the government. So you never talk about them. The BJP government will not talk about conviction of those people who have been protected. I believe that a state should not have state protected criminal and ordinary criminal. A criminal should be dealt with with the strictest punishment possible, but according to the law. You cannot go against the law. You cannot discriminate between.
No, what is a heart attack to do? What is heart attack to? What is one heart attack to do with process of law? I mean, you are clearly connecting the unconnected, Abbas Haider, but you did not answer my question. And let me try to understand. You are focusing on only one aspect, which is a matter of probe. So let's not jump the gun, Abbas Haider, but the question of absolute, ruthless, brazen polarization being sought of the Muslim vote bank. नवल कांत, आप मुझे क्विकली अगर बता पाएं कि किस तरह का आंकड़ा ये राजनीतिक पार्टियों के दिमाग में होगा, मन में होगा, जब वो इस तरह का पोलराइजेशन का सोच रहे हैं। पूर्वांचल की कितनी सीट है जहां पे मुख्तार अंसारी, जैसा हेमंत तिवारी कह रहे हैं, मुख्तार अंसारी एक फैक्टर हो सकता है?
देखिए, मऊ, आजमगढ़, बलिया, बनारस, इस तरह की तमाम सीटें हैं जहां मुख्तार अंसारी का रसूख है और वहां पे मुस्लिम वोट बैंक अच्छी खासी संख्या में है। विपक्ष की रणनीति ये है कि जो मुस्लिम वोट बैंक सीधे सीधे उनके पास पूरा आ जाए, उसके अलावा थोड़ा सा दलितों का और पिछड़ों का कॉम्बिनेशन हो जाए, तो वो कई सीटों पे जो अपने तरीके से उसको हासिल कर सकती हैं। लेकिन जैसा कि हेमंत जी ने कहा कि जो एक काउंटर पोलराइजेशन होता है, वहां पे इस वजह से हिंदू भी बहुत यूनाइट होते हैं और ये देखना होगा, ये दिलचस्प होता जा रहा है कि सीधे सीधे हिंदू मुस्लिम की पॉलिटिक्स शुरू हो गई विपक्ष और बीजेपी के बीच में, और अब देखना ये होगा कि आगे ये पलड़ा किस तरफ भारी होता दिख रहा है।
फैक्ट ऑफ द मैटर इज
सीधे बीजेपी को फायदा दिख रहा है, बीजेपी का फायदा।
Fact of the matter is, on some seats the Samajwadi Party would benefit. I'm not sure about the BSP, but on some seats, obviously with counter polarization, BJP would benefit. But the fact of the matter is, Deshratan Nigam, unfortunately I've run out of time, but I have to wrap up. Unfortunately, the fact of the matter is that Mukhtar Ansari was a gangster, a mafia, who took upon himself politics as a career and thought that that's a way to protect himself from the long arms of the law. It was only a matter of time, of course, and when a resolute government came, Mukhtar Ansari had to face consequences of his actions. He has died of a heart attack. We should not be getting nostalgic about any aspect of his personality, but just focus on the fact that there were hundreds and thousands of people who suffered in the heydays of Mukhtar Ansari's mafia-dom, and they have a sigh of relief now. And everything else is politics. On that note, thank you so much, Deshratan Nigam, Naval Kant, Hemant Tiwari, and Abbas Haider for joining us. And before we slip into a short break, Republic Media Network is proud to announce the launch of our exclusive Nazar Ka Tika campaign, encouraging all Indians to come ahead and vote. At Republic, we believe voting is the cornerstone of our democracy, driving progress and safeguarding freedom for all. Join us in our Nazar Ka Tika campaign and vote for a new India. Thanks for watching.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
कांग्रेस को जब से कर्नाटका में मौका मिला है, तो इन्होंने कर्नाटका को अपना एटीएम बना दिया है।
Aspersions on the Supreme Court, one of the most revered institutions.
They have not simply got rid of Article 370. They have dismembered the state of Jammu and Kashmir by mischievously misinterpreting both Article 3 of the Constitution and Article 370 of the Constitution.
हम इस जजमेंट से सैटिस्फाइड नहीं है। मेरा मानना यह है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट सुप्रीम जरूर है, मगर इनफेलेबल नहीं है। हम अपने एक लीगल हक के लिए लड़ रहे थे। हमको किसी से खैरात की जरूरत नहीं है 5 एकड़ जमीन की।
600 eminent lawyers have now written to the Chief Justice over the issue.
और हमारे जैसे वकील हम डिफर कर सकते हैं व्यूज के, जुडिशरी के जो जजमेंट को हम कह सकते हैं कि ये ठीक नहीं किया, परंतु हम उनके कार्य करने के और उनको ये सर्टिफिकेट देने के एंटाइटल नहीं है कि अच्छा कर रहे हैं या गंदा कर रहे हैं। रिलीफ दे दिया तो बहुत अच्छा है, नहीं मिला तो गलत है। हमारी जुडिशरी कानून के अंतर्गत काम करती है।
With even the Prime Minister weighing in on the issue. Not just the government, some even in the opposition backed the move.
It's very alarming and very disturbing to read this story because India is a free country. Our forefathers have fought the British to get freedom into this country, and if in the most important out of the 4 pillars, our judiciary is one of the most critical pillars of our freedom movement. And if that a lot of lawyers feel is compromised, it's extraordinarily alarming and worrisome.
Is there an attempt to selectively undermine the judiciary? Let's debate.
Trending burning question, powered by Reva University and Century Club Prime.
Thank you for joining us. The trending burning question. Kejriwal is getting support. Very little support from India, but a lot of support from countries like America, countries like Germany, and now the United Nations. United Nations has given a comment about Kejriwal's arrest, by saying that everyone's rights must be protected, etc. The same UN, which has been wishy-washy on how UNRWA or UNRWA employees, UNRWA members in Gaza were disguised as terrorists. The same United Nations is giving advice to India that they hope Kejriwal's rights are protected. Why are these countries speaking out of turn? That's a trending burning question.
US and Germany raising questions about India's democracy. India taking a strong exception.
Yesterday, India had lodged its strong objection and protest with the senior official from the US Embassy with regard to the comments made by the US State Department. The recent remarks by the State Department are unwarranted.
Questioning of democracy leading to a diplomatic tiff.
Ich komme zurück auf den Fall des verhafteten Oppositionspolitiker Arvind Kejriwal. Nachdem Ihr Kollege den Fall am Freitag kommentiert hat, wurde der stellvertretende Botschafter in Delhi vom dortigen Außenministerium einbestellt.
Also Indien und Deutschland ein großes Interesse an einer vertieften Kooperation haben und da auch vertrauensvoll zusammenarbeiten. Insofern würde ich jetzt ungern hier aus vertraulichen internen Gesprächen berichten.
All of it seems to be an orchestrated attack on India's democracy. And the face of the campaign, Bangladeshi politician journalist Mushfiqul Fazal Ansari. Ansari wanted in his country for spreading disinformation and booked under terror charges. But the question that remains is, who is behind the malign India attack campaign? That is the trending burning question.
All right, on the debate this evening, we have Charu Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us live from the national capital. Akash Deepmuni, political analyst leaning towards the Aam Aadmi Party, also on the debate. Live from Chandigarh, and Utsav Chakrabarti, who is the executive director of Hindu Action, joining us live from Washington, D.C. Let me go across to Akash Deepmuni. Akash Deep, are your allies in I.N.D.I.A, or are your allies in the US, the UN, and Germany? Why are they so interested about Kejriwal?
And who are they to lecture us?
Niranjan ji, yeah, Niranjan ji, I won't be able to answer your question because I am not Aam Aadmi Party or I am not from India Alliance. I'm a simple political analyst. But what I can answer is that I must say that the United Nations, US and Germany must restrain themselves, as told by Aam Aadmi Party also many a times yesterday on your channel also, that they should restrain themselves in our internal affairs. However, one point I want to make is that although the country should not make the statements, but the journalists who are reporting, like CNN, BBC, and other channels who are reporting, Al Jazeera, what they are reporting is concerning for both of Indians and abroad also. How Indian democracy is being throttled by some, which seems it being throttled by some of the actions of enforcement directorate, central agencies, and also central government. We have seen that how it seems like that enforcement directorate is biased when they say that they don't have a money trail in this case and they keep a sitting chief minister inside jail. The interesting factor is that you might be worried as a journalist because you reported against the Air India scam, and today the scamster, when he joined BJP, is out and the case is closed. So it's a somewhat worrying situation in India. However, I must say again that United Nations should be more worried about international affairs rather than interfering in our internal affairs. And please don't search any scapegoat on this. But the one thing is I want to point out is the MEA should be answerable that why our diplomacy is failing and why these things have not been covered till now.
Yeah, let me go across, to Charu Pragya. Let me get in the BJP's version to this. Charu Pragya, you should also, do you think India must also take a stand on the way Trump is being treated in America about the $400 million fine that is being levied, on Donald Trump? You should also be vocal about the serious allegations of Israel that members of a UN agency, which is called UNRWA, UNRWA, were involved in the terrorist attack on Israel. They were members of UNRWA, but were actually terrorists in disguise who entered Israel and killed Israeli citizens, right? We should also speak about these things, to give it back to them in a language that they also understand.
Niranjan, a very good evening to you and good evening to all our viewers. Let's understand one thing very clearly and very categorically. India of today, the new India, never minces its words, and we do give it back, to quote you. At whatever platform this giving back is required, and it is done so in strong language which cannot be translated to mean anything else other than what we mean. So let's put this aside and be very clear that we are in a position where Indian diplomats, Indian ministers are speaking their mind and are putting India's position and India's thought on the global platform without any fear. The second thing we should remember is that we are a sovereign nation and we do not want interference of any other country in our internal affairs. And that is one reason why we also refrain from interfering in any other country's internal matters. Terrorism not being one of them, because terrorism is something which unites the globe, and we have always spoken out against terrorism, whether it's an attack somewhere or the situation in Palestine and Israel. India has always spoken out. But beyond that, we do our job and we expect the same from the other countries. MEA has spoken to diplomats, the Deputy Chief of Mission from the USA, spoken to the Germans, and we have seen Germany backtrack. But see, there is this particular misinformation which is being floated by certain sections of the media, which is encouraged by certain politicians in the country. And let's put that also as clearly across as the first statement. So their political motives are served by spreading half news. They say that a chief minister is behind bars, but they do not state that he is behind bars for skipping 9 summons by the enforcement directorate in a scam. In a scam where money trail has been established by the same Supreme Court. So we actually, I think, need to communicate harder, faster, better, and it has to be done from media outlets like you. And I thank you for picking up this topic today.
Niranjan, there is a fact check.
Let me get in our third. Yeah, what's your fact check? You can fact check her and I'll go across to a third panelist. What's your fact check?
Just 5 seconds fact check. ASG, who is the lawyer of Enforcement Directorate, Mr. Raju, told in the court, and it is written in the court proceedings also, that money trail has not been established. They are finding one, quote unquote. So money trail till now has not been established. Thank you.
The previous
ASG
judgment spoke.
You can check.
The
Niranjan,
previous judgment spoke of a money
domain.
trail of
Anybody
350 crore.
I
That has
don't
gone
want to
into
debate on
Aam Aadmi
this,
Party
but
coffers, and based
anybody
on
can
that
check.
evidence plus more, the CM is behind bars. Based on that
I would
itself,
request
the
the
other
common
ministers
man
were
to
behind
Google.
bars.
Common man, please Google Raju said or not in court. It is in court proceedings that there has not been
What
established
Raju said in
money
court
trail.
and what Kejriwal said in court is being misrepresented sufficiently by Aam Aadmi Party. The bottom line is, if you can get a bail
Okay, let me get Utsav also.
if a Lalu Prasad Yadav can also get bail, you can't point fingers at the court today.
Can I get in a word?
The Chief Minister remains behind bars.
Charu, I agree with you.
There is sufficient to keep him there.
How can you agree with her?
Yeah, Charu Pragya, I do agree with you that.
Niranjan,
No, one second. No, 1 second. I'm not agreeing with her. I'm not agreeing with her on.
I'm not an investigator. I'm not a judge.
Oh my God! You hear me? Don't selectively quote me. 1 sec. Don't selectively quote me. 1 sec. Charu. He's selectively quoting me. I was about to complete my sentence when he butted in and tried to draw his conclusion. I was saying that I agree with her to the point that there is selective reporting on this issue when these so-called Western media outlets, fading Western media outlets, say and fail to report. You know, they say one thing, but they fail to report the fact that he'd skipped 9 summons. And I think it's a record for any Indian politician, let alone a chief minister. It's really sad because even the Prime Minister, let me remind you, when he was summoned when he was just a chief minister, even when he was summoned when he was a chief minister, had responded to those summons, and he didn't create this hangama, this hype, this drama. He just went, he attended the summons, he followed the rule of law, right? So it's one thing to do drama and then start this the Ashirwad Do Kejriwal Ko campaign, right? That's okay. You have the right to do that. But it's also political drama. It makes for good television. And before elections, of course, you can drum up and get some sympathy. If it gets you good, some votes. Yeah, good for you. I want to go across Utsav. Charu, just hold on. Charu, hold on. Utsav hasn't spoken. 1 sec, hold on.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on. I'll come to you, Charu. Just hold on. Utsav Chakrabarti.
Yeah.
See, Utsav, I think India is being very, 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 careful. I don't know why they're being careful about, these things. I mean, of course, they may respect the US, they may respect Germany. They have done their bit to call, diplomats from these countries and register their protest. But we have never spoken out of turn to take a stand on the violence in America, right? The racist attacks in America. And so many of our Indian students are also being killed. So we should have spoken about the law and order situation. But, yes.
So that is what a mature democracy and a mature statesman, a country which has a lot of good statesmen do. They respect international relations. They respect their foreign allies. And they respect even those who may not be fully allied with them. And that's what a mature nation does. So I really like the fact that India has responded in measure as needed, and I hope it will continue to do that. Now, I just want to, because I live in Washington, D.C., I just want to make a comment on the State Department question answer and the people involved in it. So more than the fact that America made a statement or the State Department made a statement on this, it is important for everybody in India and around the world to understand that America is full of lobbies. There are multiple power centers jostling to influence politics both inside and outside the country. And the person who asked the question...
Utsav, can I just pause you there for a second and ask you a follow-up question?
Yes.
Can I just pause you there for a second and ask you a follow-up question? I was reading about it. A lot of people have made comments about Arvind Kejriwal at different stages of his career post the service, right? The administrative service. whether it was his NGO or receiving funding at different stages of his activist career, has got funds from the Ford Foundation, for example. It's public knowledge. It's not a state secret. It's not blasphemous to talk about it, right? It's been reported. It's being discussed even now. His links to the Ford Foundation, for example, right? So would it be fair to say that there are lobbies? You mentioned lobbies, and that's why I picked up this point. Obviously, these lobbies are at work. Is it fair to say that, Utsav?
Yes, absolutely. Just the journalist who asked the question is very well known in Washington, D.C. for being a strong voice of the Jamaat-e-Islami, which is a pan-Islamist organization. He's originally from Bangladesh, but he has been pro-Jamaat-e-Islami, which includes Jamaat-e-Islami in Pakistan, as well as the Muslim Brotherhood in the Middle East. Yeah. He has been known in this area for that support structure for a really long time. And the fact that he asked the question, the least we can infer from it is that there are sympathetical groups in America linked to the pan-Islamist organizations that are trying to promote Kejriwal. I'm not saying that Kejriwal is linked with them. What I'm trying to say here is that they find benefit in promoting Kejriwal. And that is something that people in India have to understand and figure out why they are finding benefit in promoting Kejriwal.
Yeah.
No, why would they find benefit in promoting Kejriwal? It's a very, very interesting question. Very interesting question. Charu, why would they look at Kejriwal as an ally? Why?
See, the thing is, Niranjan, in the past, there have been links established between the Aam Aadmi Party and separatist outfits in other countries. In the past, there has been links established between Khalistani leaders and Aam Aadmi Party. We saw the state in which Punjab was, and not just once, they tried to do it a second time. This habit of creating anarchy to get their own way is a classic trademark Aam Aadmi Party style. And that is why there are interest groups abroad which feel that we can give them a little bit of money, have them say what we need, and today, if that person is behind bars, how does it hurt them to make a statement or two here and there? At the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference in India, neither in the Indian judicial process nor in the Indian electoral process, and that is very clear to the people of this country. But instead of getting into technicalities, Niranjan, let's simplify things here. Let's simplify things and get it down to a point where we understand that all the press conferences which are being taken by Aam Aadmi Party leaders...
No, don't simplify. Don't simplify. Hold on. Don't simplify it yet. Don't simplify it yet.
About increased commission.
Don't. One second. Just pause there. Pause there.
It's hilarious.
Charu, pause. Let me take that question. Let me take that question to Akashdeep. Just pause there, because you made a very interesting point about separatists and dancing with separatists. When I say dancing, I don't mean it literally, but of course, tallying with them. Yeah. Let me ask Akashdeep. Akashdeep, is it true or not that there is this Khalistani terrorist called Pannu who recently put out a video, right, saying that he funded Kejriwal, and he has said something like, he's put a number to it. He's saying that pro-Khalistani groups gave $16 million to Arvind Kejriwal since 2014. Now, $16 million, right, is a lot of money. And in 2014, when Kejriwal was just beginning to make inroads in Indian politics, $16 million.
I knew we will bring in...
You think that's what she was referring to, Charu? You think that's the reference being made by Charu?
Absolutely.
No, I'm not bringing.
We can make more.
She brought it up.
References. We can talk about photographs of Khalistani leaders with Aam Aadmi Party leaders. We can talk about the fact that even now when Raghav Chadha was in London, Niranjan, he had a photograph with one MP, and that MP is a separatist sympathizer.
Niranjan.
Yes, you're right. She's talking about Preet Gill. Preet Gill has asked for a separate Khalistan.
And Preet Gill has made several...
She's an enemy of India. I'm sorry.
Which are anti-India.
She wants the breakup of India.
Right. Now, Niranjan.
Okay, can you get Akashdeep to respond to that? Yes, Akashdeep.
The moment, now, if you allow me, then I'll unravel everything.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Janata Party Akali Alliance. what they have been doing in Punjab, what they have done since 1995 in Punjab. Okay, and how under their rules, under the Akali and Bharatiya Janata Party rules, how they supported Khalistanis. How Akalis has always supported Khalistanis, with whom Bharatiya Janata Party was in alliance for a longer period of time. How they have supported openly.
No. You know what? Even your current alliance partner, Congress, leaders have left the party in Punjab stating exactly this, that you are bad for national security. And Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab spells trouble for the whole country. Can you deny that?
Okay. And Pannu, you are talking about Pannu. Now I'll point to point, I'll rebut. Pannu statement. Pannu was not talking about anything else, but he was warning Kejriwal. He was warning Kejriwal that in Tihar jail, Khalistani
Why is
will
it that all your statements need to be deciphered and translated in this vague manner?
Okay. Listen to me.
Take it as what it was at face value. Pannu gave money, his institution, organizations gave money to Aam Aadmi Party.
He was warning. आप थोड़ा सा पढ़ के आइए, थोड़ा सा न्यूज पढ़ के आइए, मैं कोट कर रहा हूँ.
नहीं, आप थोड़ा सा पढ़ लीजिए, बिकॉज ये ना आपका जो मनी ट्रेल्स है, ये ओपन नॉलेज हो चुका है, ठीक है ना? ये पढ़ के आइए वाला डायलॉग वाले दिन चले गए हैं, क्योंकि आप मेरे सामने तो ये बोले ही मत. Can you deny Preet Gill's photograph with Raghav Chadha in London? One and only picture comes out and it is with a separatist. Is that a statement Aam Aadmi Party is making? Nilanjan, can I get an answer to this, please? Was this a political statement being made by the Aam
Akashdeep and Charu. Nobody can hear you both. 1 second. Charu, 1 second. Charu and Akashdeep, nobody can hear you both. 1 second. Charu, pull back. Charu, pull back. Akashdeep, pull back for a second. Pull back for a second. Because, nobody can hear you when you're screaming. Both of you are talking about what Pannu said. Let me tell you what Pannu said. Pannu is, first of all, a terrorist. Let me tell you, Akashdeep, I agree with you. He's a terrorist. You can't take him at face value. We think the guy is a joke. Pannu is a joke. Okay? Pannu is a joke. But he has said, Kejriwal had a meeting with them in Gurdwara, Richmond Hills in New York in 2014, where Kejriwal allegedly promised to release the 1993 Delhi blast convict Devinder Pal Singh Bullard in lieu of financial support. That's the statement he's made. Right? It's being reported also everywhere. I mean, first of all, I agree with you. We don't take him seriously, but he has said that. Right? Now, you can't say that the BJP paid Pannu to make such an allegation. You can't say that the government of India has Pannu, cornered. That is why Pannu made that statement. Right? Then, he's the same guy who targets the Modi government all the while, right? And he's the same guy who claimed that agencies tried to target him. He's a joke. He's a joke. Then you can't be flirting with Khalistani elements on one hand. And Charu was right. And let me go across to Utsav. Let me give Utsav the last word. Utsav, do you think the time has come for India to speak up? Openly make a statement. Hope that Trump gets a fair trial. Right? Hope that the law and order machinery in the US administration, they should. I think we should speak out. The time has come, isn't it, Utsav? We should speak out. Would you back India doing that, taking a more aggressive stand? I think it's time.
I think I would back the extremely capable Foreign Minister of India, Sri Jaishankar, to take the right decision. To be honest with you, I have been living in this country for the last 25 years. And in the last 6 to 7 years, the amount of diplomatic success and the amount of image building with backed up information and growth that India has achieved is really immense, and it's really appreciable. So I will let the Indian government and the capable officials in the Indian Foreign Ministry decide what to do. And I have full faith in America in doing the right thing when it comes to not interfering in foreign relations with India. And I think better minds will prevail. I think there will be lobbies in America which will continue to push this narrative. By the way, the same journalist Mushfiq who asked the question about Kejriwal was also very close to the Rahul Gandhi event last year in Washington, D.C. And we have a picture of him with Rahul Gandhi. So that doesn't mean much, but just sharing it with our audiences in India, there are a lot of elements in America from different international groups, organizations, lobbies that are not happy to see India succeed as a country and to see India succeed as a democracy. So they will be putting their pressure on America and on other countries around the world to make India look bad before the election. That's a tried and tested technique for a really long time. There will be media outlets like Al Jazeera openly helping them. So I was seeing my colleague here quoting Al Jazeera or mentioning Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is not a friend of India and will always do everything to undermine India. So just for everybody's information. So we have to understand what things are. We do not need to overreact to it. We should have faith in India's democracy and in India's judiciary. I think India is one of the strongest democracies in the world, has 75 years of record proving it. So let chips fall where they fall. But it is important that we understand that there are lobbies out there working against India.
Yeah, and the last, I just want to make a last point that, I don't know how many people know, but the same United Nations that hopes that the rights of Shri Arvind Kejriwal will be protected. I hope that they come out and make a statement on employing terrorists as well, Charu. Charu, I think the time has come for India to also issue a statement. When Israel revealed that 6 UNRWA workers, UNRWA, a nodal agency of the UN, 6 of them were part of the wave of terrorists who breached the Gaza-Israel border and massacred civilians inside of Israel. Right? I think India should have issued a statement on these terrorists inside the UN.
For terrorism, we'll always issue a statement.
Employed by the UN,
other than
paid
that,
by the
I
UN.
think India's foreign policy is been walking on a path which is absolutely perfect and there's no deviating from it. But before we end, I'm just going to take 10 seconds to make an observation here. Aam Aadmi Party is making a political statement even today by preferring to side with foreign forces intent on breaking India than dealing with the corruption mess that their own party has left behind in the capital of the country.
I want 10 seconds. That's strongly rebut.
Why don't you talk about Preet Gill in your 10 seconds then?
Okay, you can strongly rebut. I've run out of time. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay, Akashdeep. Akashdeep, 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I have to end it. Come on.
Talk about
Charu, give him 10 seconds. Charu, give him 10 seconds. Charu, I'm running out of time. Give him 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Charu, give him 10 seconds.
I want to make it that by adjoining name of Kejriwal with anti-national forces working outside is a good propaganda of Bharatiya Janata Party. But remember, after Aam Aadmi Party came in Punjab,
we are not writing articles for him in Washington.
Okay, running out of time. Thank you very much. That's all the time I had. Charu, Utsav and Akashdeep. I gave you 10 seconds. I've run out of time. Thank you very much. I've run out of time. Utsav, Akashdeep and Charu. Arnab is joining us next in 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Arnab live on the debate in 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, we are joined in by Mr. Andrew Middleton. He's Director of Apostles of the Sea, Baltimore. And I believe that's the port where the Dali tragedy happened, leading to the collapse of the bridge. Very good morning to you, Mr. Middleton, there in Baltimore. Good evening from India. And we heard about the tragedy, and we have seen reports about your involvement with some relief and rescue subsequently. Can you tell us what really exactly happened and how you came to know about this? Some dramatic visuals there for the world to see.
Okay. So yeah, we're a ministry to seafarers in the port of Baltimore. On Sunday morning, the crew reached out to me, asking if we could transport them to shopping as they were preparing to sail to Sri Lanka, and they wanted to be able to buy personal items, toiletries, and those kind of things, just little creature comforts that they could have for what was going to be an extended voyage down and around South Africa. So we were able to take them, volunteer was able to take them shopping on Sunday for about 5 or 6 hours. They went to Walmart, Target, and Best Buy. They came back to the Seafarer Center for a little while. They went through our library and took some books and magazines so that they would have those to read on board while they were at sea. Monday morning, they reached out to me again and said they had 2 people that wanted to go shopping before they sailed. I was actually visiting ships that day, so I was able to take those two out, one of whom was the captain. During our drive to the shopping center, Captain and I had conversation, and he pretty much, that was it. At that point was when he told me that they were sailing for Sri Lanka, and they were going to take a route around South Africa in order to avoid the Yemen coast and the Houthi attacks and all the violence that's going on in that area. If I remember correctly, he said that taking that route was adding, I think, 7 extra days to the voyage. But in my conversation with the volunteer that took them out on Sunday and my interaction.
Mukhtar Ansari saga unveiled. Over 4-decade reign of terror ends. Why is the whitewashing crime lobby crying foul? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
हिंदू धर्म में शक्ति शब्द होता है। हम शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं, एक शक्ति से लड़ रहे हैं।
इंडिया अलायंस ने अपना घोषणा पत्र शक्ति को खत्म करने के लिए किया है। मैं इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करता हूं और मैं इन शक्ति स्वरूपा माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए जान की बाजी लगा दूंगा। कांग्रेस को जब से कर्नाटका में मौका मिला है तो इन्होंने कर्नाटका को अपना एटीएम बना दिया है।
Mystery over US-UN remarks on Kejriwal. UN wades into row over Kejriwal's arrest. Is US engineering anti-Indian narrative? Debating tonight at 10 p.m.
दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी भाषा तमिल भाषा हिंदुस्तान की है। मैं दुनिया को बताना चाहता हूं, सबसे पुरानी भाषा का गर्व प्राप्त है, वो मेरी तमिल भाषा है।
March of terror in Pakistan. Chinese workers killed in suicide bomb blast. Is Pakistan in a position to garner security to the Chinese? Debating tonight at 10:30 p.m.
कांग्रेस को
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
हिंदू धर्म में शक्ति शब्द होता है। हम शक्ति।
Mukhtar Ansari saga unveiled. Over 4-decade reign of terror ends. Why is the whitewashing crime lobby crying foul? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 9, presented by Amity University, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka, Century Club Prime and Policy Bazaar, co-powered by Belkolu.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Viewer, 63-year-old Mukhtar Ansari, who has died of a heart attack, was not and will never be a hero or a Robin Hood. He was and will always be a convicted gangster, a ruthless mafia don, a man responsible for many killings, murders, extortion and loot. And like Atiq Ahmed, who also died a few months back, the story of Mukhtar Ansari is one of being the oppressor. An oppressor with political approval and the participation of political parties in Uttar Pradesh. Mukhtar Ansari and Atiq Ahmed are a blot in the political history of Uttar Pradesh and the political history of India. And as far as Mukhtar Ansari is concerned, let me say it as straight as I can. Being dead does not make him great. For years, for decades, people like Mukhtar Ansari and Atiq Ahmed have been built up like heroes by sections of the media, as Robin Hoods, as do-gooders, and an organized industry of Bollywood and Lutyens media have made glowing documentary on people like them. Puff piece interviews have been done with them, and even films have been made around them, and people like them. And viewers, I come on air tonight to tell you that the death of Atiq Ahmed and Mukhtar Ansari means the end of an endless reign of mafia dons and smugglers and extortionists and underworld dons in India. Shameless people in our country, anti-national people in our country, people who can even sell their nation. These are people who have gone and watched cricket with Dawood Ibrahim, benefited from suspicious charity matches organized by underworld dons in the Middle East, and praised Mukhtar Ansari's biryani in his house. Today I come to you to request you to do everything that you can to let the younger generation of this country know how bad things were when the Congress, BSP and the SP were in power. Because it was not just Congress, BSP and SP in power, it was also Dawood Ibrahim, Yaqub Memon, Atiq Ahmed and people like Mukhtar Ansari who ruled the roost. And I can say to you tonight on this Friday evening, anything can be allowed to happen, but we must never go back to that India. This is a new India. And we're happy that the time of Mukhtar Ansari's and Atiq Ahmed's and Dawood Ibrahim's ruling the roost in this country has come to an end. Debate 1 tonight, viewers. Mukhtar Ansari and what I think he signifies. Debate number 2 this evening, the inside story of how there was a planted questions at the UN and the US State Department, a planted question published by anti-India people to tarnish our image. Debate number 3, that's going to be an interesting angle. And debate number 3, why Pakistan is seeing the Chinese leave and can give no security guarantees as the Chinese prepare to leave Pakistan. That's debate number 3. And here are the headlines this Friday evening on The Debate Tonight.
जिला गाजीपुर की मैं बात करूं तो वहां पे लोगों ने रात पूरे दिवाली मनाई। उन्होंने हमेशा कहा है कि बाबा का आशीर्वाद रहेगा तो हर एक दिन न्याय हमें जरूर मिलेगा।
Gangster Mukhtar Ansari's death draws the curtains on his 4-decade reign of terror in Uttar Pradesh.
इनकी मौत संदेह के घेरे में है, तो देखिए न्यायालय को इसमें स्वयं रुचि लेना चाहिए.
But the opposition demands a probe over the dreaded gangster's death, alleges conspiracy.
They are calling me somebody who has a rate card. On the other hand, based on my, my choice of clothing, and on the other hand, they would go and do dharna for the rights of burqa, all of that, and then they call themselves liberals as well.
Kangana gives it back to the Congress over the rate card slur, says the people of Mandi will give a reply. Congress gets fresh income tax notice to the tune of 1,700 crores. Party says will move the top court now. After the United States and Germany, now the United Nations wades into the Kejriwal arrest row. And China halts 2 projects after deadly attacks on its citizens in Pakistan. And ladies and gentlemen, jailed gangster turned politician mafia don Mukhtar Ansari died after he suffered a heart attack in jail. The dreaded mafia don terrorized people in the Varanasi Mao belt for politics and the polarization of votes. The opposition failed to address the severity of the criminal allegations against him. And today that same opposition is crying foul over Mukhtar Ansari's death, calling it a conspiracy. Ladies and gentlemen, the reality of what this man was all about must be known. We must all talk about it. Let's debate.
A dreaded gangster, murderer, and extorter. The death of Don Neta Mukhtar Ansari has drawn curtains on his 4-decade reign of terror in eastern UP. Ansari earned notoriety in the crime world due to rivalry with another mafia-turned-politician, Pratibha Singh, in the late 1980s. In 1996, he transitioned into politics, leveraging his influence to secure a seat as an MLA from Mau constituency for 5 times.
वोटर लिस्ट में नाम है और कार्ड है, अगर इसके बाद कोई विरोध करता है तो हम तो रहबे करेंगे ना, खबर करिएगा, वो ले जाके मजिस्ट्रेट फांसी थोड़े लटका देगा.
His tenure was marred by accusations of inciting communal violence and exploiting religious sentiments.
क्या जालिमों कान खोल कर सुन लो, जब तक तुम नहीं मानोगे मुख्तार अंसारी तुम्हारे जुल्म का पंजा मरोड़ता रहेगा. मुख्तार अंसारी तुम जालिमों से मुकाबला करता रहेगा.
During the 2005 riots, Mukhtar Ansari was seen carrying a firearm in an open SUV on the streets of Mau. Increased pressure on political parties after the cold-blooded murder of BJP MLA Krishnanand Rai led to Ansari's arrest in 2005, after which he never came out of jail. The dreaded gangster alleged threat to his life while in jail.
मेरी जान का खतरा है और मेरी हत्या कराने के मकसद से ही मेरा जेल से ट्रांसफर कराया गया है.
60 criminal cases, including 16 murder cases since 1978. But the convictions happened only in 2022. Such was his terror.
स्वाभाविक है, उस समय सरकार मुख्तार को सपोर्ट कर रहे थे. मुलायम सिंह यादव जी की सरकार थी, पूरी तरह सपोर्ट था. जिस समय मुख्तार सरकार के समर्थन से अपने चरम पे था, उस समय हमारा अकेले स्टैंड लेना मेरे लिए भारी पड़ा और मुझे सर्विस भी गंवानी पड़ी. इवन 2 बार जेल भी जाना पड़ा मुझे. लेकिन मेरा एक हौसला बुलंद था, ऊपर वाले भरोसा था. मैं बाहर आया और आज आप सबके बीच में सकुशल बैठा हूँ. और जो व्यक्ति सब कर रहा था प्लानिंग, आज वो खत्म है.
The death of Mukhtar Ansari has given terrorized victims a sense of justice.
कि एक आतताई का अंत हुआ, उसके एक युग का अंत हुआ है और उसके जितने आतंक रहे हैं, और मेरे क्षेत्र में मैं बात करूं या मेरे पूरे जिला गाजीपुर की मैं बात करूं तो वहां पे लोगों ने रात पूरे दिवाली मनाई। मैं तो ये शान की जिंदगी नहीं है, एक अपराधी की जिंदगी का यही हश्र होता है और उसी का ये नतीजा है।
The question is, do we need to sympathize with someone who was accused of hundreds of crimes and made people suffer in the region? That's the debate. Why sympathize with Mukhtar Ansari's death?
My first guest tonight is a former DSP of police in Uttar Pradesh, and he is the person who had invoked the Prevention of Terrorism Act against Mukhtar Ansari. And let me tell you, viewers, that when Shailendra Singh had invoked POTA against Mukhtar Ansari, he did not have the support of the politicians. There were threats made against him. So it is only appropriate that the man who arrested Mukhtar Ansari is my first guest tonight. शैलेंद्र सिंह जी, नमस्कार। मैं अर्नब गोस्वामी बोल रहा हूँ।
नमस्कार अर्नब जी,
समय
और आपके श्रोताओं को भी नमस्कार।
उस समय जब आपने जी शैलेंद्र जी, आज मुख्तार अंसारी की डेथ हुई है, तो आप उनके बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे? जितने हमारे दर्शक हैं, जितने हमारे यंगर ऑडियंस है, बहुत लोग हैं जो जिनको पता नहीं होगा कि जिनको बाहुबली रॉबिनहुड कहा जाता था, उनका असली चेहरा क्या था। तो जरा आप उसके बारे में बताइए, और जब आपने एक्शन ली उसके बाद आपको क्या भुगतना पड़ा, उसके बारे में बताएं।
बिल्कुल बात सही है। कल जब मुझे ये सूचना मिली कि मुख्तार अंसारी की कार्डियक अरेस्ट के कारण डेथ हो गई है, तो मेरे दिमाग में सबसे पहले यही गूंजा कि जो जैसा करता है उसका कर्म फल उसको मिलता ही मिलता है और इसी जन्म में मिलता है। और मुख्तार अंसारी ने अपने ही कर्मों की सजा पाई है। वही उसने जो मतलब भय का साम्राज्य पब्लिक के लिए पहले कायम किया था, और पिछले 3 साल से जब से ये पंजाब जेल से यहाँ लाया गया उत्तर प्रदेश में, आप देख रहे थे कि लगातार ये माहौल बना रहा था कि हमको जान का खतरा है, हमको स्लो पॉइजन दिया जा रहा है, और इस नाते ये स्ट्रेटजी बना रहा था कि हमको यहाँ से उत्तर प्रदेश से बाहर किसी जेल में ट्रांसफर कर दिया है न्यायालय के हस्तक्षेप से। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य देखिए, उसका ट्रांसफर तो नहीं हो पाया, उसके पहले वो स्वयं कार्डियक अरेस्ट के कारण उसकी डेथ हो गई। उसके अंदर एक भय व्याप्त हो गया था कि जो साम्राज्य हमने कायम किया है वो साम्राज्य आंख के सामने मेरा सब खत्म हो रहा है। वर्तमान सरकार योगी जी की लगातार गैंगस्टर एक्ट के तहत उसके संपत्तियों को जब्त कर रही थी, उसके लोगों को लगातार जेल भेजा जा रहा था, या एनकाउंटर में मर रहे थे, या देश छोड़ के भाग के भगोड़ा घोषित हो चुके थे। तो उसका सब कुछ तो खत्म हो रहा था, और वही डर उसके अंदर बैठ गया जिसके कारण उसका कार्डियक अरेस्ट हुआ। तो जिसने कर्म किया था वही फल उसको मिला है, और क्या बोलूं।
शैलेंद्र जी, जब आपने उनको अरेस्ट की उस समय क्या रिस्पांस था? मतलब पॉलिटिशियंस की सपोर्ट थी उनको? मैंने जो सुना है दैट यू वर टारगेटेड। व्यूअर्स, यू मस्ट रिमेंबर, शैलेंद्र सिंह इज द मैन। यस, प्लीज गो अहेड, आप बोलिए प्लीज।
ये आज से 20 साल पहले की बात है, जनवरी 2004 की बात है। और जब मैंने 25 जनवरी को इनसे लाइट मशीन गन रिकवरी किया, इनके फोन कॉल्स हम लोग सुन रहे थे और उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार के कहने पे ही सुन रहे थे, होम डिपार्टमेंट के परमिशन से सुन रहे थे। तो उसमें जब ये बात आई थी कि जम्मू कश्मीर जैसे सेंसिटिव एरिया से राष्ट्रीय राइफल से एक लाइट मशीन गन लेके भगोड़ा वहां से सैनिक जो है वो भागा हुआ है, और वो इनको बेचना चाहता था, और ये फोन कॉल्स में कह रहे थे कि हमको वो किसी भी कीमत पर इस लाइट मशीन गन को बरामद करनी है, अपने पास लेनी है, खरीदनी है, क्योंकि इनका विरोधी जो थे कृष्णानंद राय, उनकी बुलेट प्रूफ गाड़ी केवल राइफल के अगेंस्ट में बुलेट प्रूफ थी। तो उसकी क्षमता, मारक क्षमता ज्यादा होती है एलएमजी, उसको भेज देती। तो अगर मैंने ये रिकवरी उस समय न की होती तो 2 साल पहले कृष्णानंद जी की हत्या हो गई होती। और जब ये रिकवरी हुई तो पोटा कानून एग्जिस्ट करता था, ये पूरा आतंकवादी पूरा कानून के तहत आता था, मैंने पोटा लगाया। लेकिन मेरा दुर्भाग्य कि जिस चीज को गुड वर्क होना चाहिए था, शाम तक होते होते बैड वर्क हो गया। मुलायम सिंह जी की तत्कालीन अल्पमत की सरकार थी, जिसको ये सब समर्थन देते थे मुख्तार जैसे लोग, और उन लोगों ने, सरकार ने पूरा ये डिसीजन लिया कि नहीं, मुख्तार अंसारी को किसी भी कीमत पर बचाना है, और मुझ पर दबाव बनाया जाने लगा कि आप कोटा कानून हटाइए, आप इसका नाम हटाइए। और जब मैं नहीं सहमत हुआ तो फाइनली मुझे 15 दिन बाद रिकवरी के ही अपना इस्तीफा देके बाहर आना पड़ा। और मैंने इस्तीफे में लिखा कि वर्तमान सरकार उत्तर प्रदेश की जो चल रही है वो वो मुख्तार अंसारी के इशारे पर चल रही है, माफियाओं के इशारे पर चल रही है। हम पब्लिक सर्वेंट हैं, हम जनता के सेवक हैं, हम इसलिए नहीं भरते हुए कि किसी माफिया के कहने पर हम काम करेंगे। और ये चीज मैंने लिख के गवर्नर को भेजा, और उस समय मीडिया में इस चीज सामने आई, पब्लिक के बीच में आई, और लोगों को पता चला कि नहीं, वर्तमान सरकार किसके लिए काम कर रही है। चुनके तो आई है जनता के लिए, लेकिन माफियाओं के साथ खड़ी है। और यही कारण है कि आज ऐसी सरकारों को लोग खारिज कर रहे हैं। अब जनता जागरूक हो गई है। जो लड़का 20 साल पहले पैदा हुआ, आज वो युवा वोटर है, उसने दुनिया देखी है, इंटरनेट का जमाना है, ग्लोबल उसकी सोच है, वो पूरा वर्ल्ड देख रहा है कि सब कुछ ट्रांसफॉर्म हो रहा है। जिस मुस्लिम देश की बात दुबई की करते हैं, वहां पर आप देखिए किस तरह का कानून है, जरा सा भी कोई अपने इधर उधर नहीं कर सकता है, सख्त कानून है। सिंगापुर, जिसका उदाहरण दिया जाता था कि माफियाओं का राज रहता था, रातों रात वहां सब चेंज हो गया, खत्म हो गया, और कहां से कहां प्रोग्रेस हो गई वहां पे। तो हमारे देश का भी युवा आज देख रहा है कि हमारा प्रदेश क्यों नहीं बदल रहा है। और यही कारण है कि आज योगी जी को दोबारा लोगों ने अपार समर्थन देके वापस लाया। आज इन्वेस्टर समिति होती है तो लाखों करोड़ रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट आता है यहाँ पे। अब उत्तर प्रदेश मॉडल की बात नेशनल नहीं, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे की जाती है, और जनता इन लोगों को लगातार सर आंखों बैठा रही। मैं तो आज देख रहा हूँ मीडिया के माध्यम से कि सोशल मीडिया पर किस तरह से कुछ खास पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के नेताओं ने मुख्तार अंसारी के प्रति सिंपैथी दिखाई। ये दुर्भाग्य है उनकी बुद्धि का। मैं कहूंगा कि शायद हर ली गई है, भगवान ने हर ली है। जब किसी का विनाश करना होता तो सबसे पहले उनकी बुद्धि हराते हैं। तो इन नेताओं की बुद्धि हर लिया भगवान ने, और इनको अपने कर्मों की सजा इस इलेक्शन ईयर में स्वयं 2 महीने बाद पता चल जाए ये लोग कहाँ पे हैं। जी
नहीं, वो ये बात तो राजनीतिक होगी, मगर मैं ये कहूंगा अंत में कि जिन राजनीतिक दलों को आज भी जो विवश हैं मुख्तार अंसारी को समर्थन करने के लिए, आतिक अहमद जैसे गैंगस्टर्स का समर्थन करने के लिए विवश है, क्योंकि इनकी कंपल्शन है, इन्होंने काम किया ऐसे लोगों के साथ। शैलेंद्र सिंह, मेनी थैंक्स, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हमारे साथ समाजवादी पार्टी के विवेक साइलस हैं, तारिक अहमद लारी भी हैं एसपी से, आसिफ सोहेल है, हमारे साथ शांतनु गुप्ता है, एंड वी ऑल्सो हैव विद अस यशोवर्धन आजाद, former special director IB and a very seasoned and respected IPS officer. Yashovardhan Azad, I want to start with you. Is there any doubt in your mind that it was because of political patronage that mafia dons like Mukhtar Ansari were allowed to flourish? That's the first question. The second point is that with the death of Mukhtar Ansari, has this come completely to an end? Or does this survive in pockets of Uttar Pradesh still, the mafia culture?
Well, let me start, Arda, by saying that it is a reflection of our polity that dreaded gangsters like Mukhtar Ansari flourished in some parts of our country, Bihar, UP, even other places. And definitely, they are backed by the ruling establishment. Otherwise, no mafia can actually survive without pockets of support. So this is extremely important, and that is why when any incident in respect of these people takes place, immediately there is either a politicization of the incident or a communalization. For the simple reason, if Mukhtar Ansari wasn't a member of party or jumping parties across and helping whenever he was helping himself, there would have been no outcry over his death in the jail. And the second part which you asked is that glorification is something which is extremely unfortunate. Let me tell you that there are only two critical issues relating to this death, and it shouldn't have been politicized. Number one is whether medical attention was given to him properly. And number two, whether he was poisoned, because that is the allegation. A judicial inquiry has been ordered. And as far as the poisoning goes, it's a toxicology report which gives you this. That comes after 4 weeks. and it will be absolutely clear in the judicial inquiry whether it has been done or not. And therefore, and the last point, which is very important, Arnab, I feel now, is that out of the 60 cases in this in which this man was involved, in 5 there was already conviction. I mean, if he were to live, he would be living throughout his life in jail. And it did not serve any purpose for the state or the police to knock him out. I mean, in fact, it was serving their purpose because he was getting convicted and it was improving the crime record. It was improving the law and order. It was giving a kind of a message to the other mafia that this kind of activities will not survive. And therefore, given these 2 points, it is obvious that such dreaded gangsters, if their rule is going to end, ultimately is going to be benefiting everyone. It should go as a message, not only in UP, but also across the states in other places, because mind you, Arnab, there are certain parties still who are inducting these mafias in some places.
And I want to, Yashovardhanji, I also want to bring in the aspect of the media. Before I continue this conversation, it is a known fact that sections of the media used to lionize these people. I don't know what they got out of them. There is one particular anchor who used to keep saying that every time I went to Atiq Ahmed and Mukhtar Ansari, they served me very good biryani. They served me delicious food. These were people with a lot of tehzeeb, and they used to serve me very good tandoori chicken. And I kept telling Mukhtar Ansari that he makes delicious food. This is not accidental, Shantanu. This is deliberate. The attempt was made to give the impression that these are very good people. It was part of the same vote bank culture that the media also suffered from. And they were responsible for building Yaqub Memon, Dawood Ibrahim, Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari and the whole lot of them. So do you want to make a comment on that? And also, Shantanu, along with that, the kind of statements that have come from Samajwadi Party and BSP today.
Exactly. When I saw the Samajwadi Party Twitter handle today, I was so surprised and aghast that it started with Shri Mukhtar Ansari ji, and then they said whatever the Shok Sandesh they had to say. So for Samajwadi Party, he's not a gangster, he's not a terrorist Mukhtar Ansari, he's Shri Mukhtar Ansari ji. That's how Akhilesh Yadav treats him. And we know that how Mukhtar Ansaris and Atiq Ahmed of the world, who should have been in jail, were in assemblies and parliament. And still they're catering. You know, in 2022 election, Mukhtar Ansari's son got the ticket from Samajwadi Party coalition. And in 2024 election, his brother is getting the ticket already. Right? So they're still, for the vote bank, they're still giving food to the family. And you rightly said, sections and sections of the media gave cover fire to them. Oh my God, as you said, the biryanis are good, the tehzeeb is good, right? And ask Puneet Rai, ask the son of Krishnanand Rai, that how hundreds and hundreds of families are destroyed by these gangsters in UP. And it was only post 2017 that how Yogi Adityanath pinned all these dreaded organized mafia. They were kidnapping mafia, cheating mafia, car chori mafia, rangdari mafia, multiple rapes and murders in their name. And they were some of them were not even FIR'd, some of them were not in jail, some of them flew jails, some of them flew courtrooms. And then these 10,000 cases, SITs are formed. And now UP is what UP is. That when UP does the investment summit, we get 34 lakh crores of investment, because now UP is a safe place, right? So I think though he died during the Ramzan month, I think so it's a godly justice that happened yesterday in Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah, and I'd like to ask Vivek Silas. Vivek, I can understand why you are supporting Tariq Ahmed Lari and Vivek. First, Vivek, because for a long time, for many years, you built up this mafia. They used to become your vote bank catchers. They used to do the contract extortion industry. They used to share the loot with you. They used to give you money. Plus, they used to terrorize local people that if you don't vote for this party or that party, then we will use the gun against you. You also allowed them to have their private armies, to have their private guns, private machine guns. women were raped, kidnapped, there was open extortion and loot that was going on. Tariq Lari, these are realities. You cannot run away with these realities. And in fact, murder was, just a daily affair at that point of time. Police officials were killed. 400 bullets were pumped into Krishnanand Rai's body, right? And we know exactly what happened, the way in which Avdesh Rai was killed. He was one of the challengers at that point of time. But you used to call these people Bahubali. क्या बाहुबली है? एक नंबर के कायर हैं. इनको आप लोग तारिक लारी बाहुबली, रॉबिन हुड, नॉनसेंस. एक नंबर के कायर हैं, लोगों को मार के, लूट के, गन कल्चर ला के, और उसके बाद पता नहीं फिरौती करते थे, एक्सटॉर्शन करते थे. What is the relationship between समाजवादी पार्टी and BSP and people like मुख्तार अंसारी? इनको रॉबिन हुड बताया जाता था. और ये मीडिया की भी प्रॉब्लम थी, रीढ़ की हड्डी नहीं थी, दे हैड नो स्पाइन, है ना. अभी भी नहीं बोलते, अभी भी वो बोलते मुख्तार अंसारी एक्स MLA, आतिक अहमद politician. They will not call them a gangster. And OAC, by the way, Asif Sohail is saying Ghazipur's beloved son and brother. On Twitter he has said Ghazipur's beloved son and brother. अभी भी हीरोगिरी करने की कोशिश हो रही है शांतनु. अभी भी ये लोग यही बात कर रहे हैं. अभी तो सुधर जाइए विवेक साइलेंस. Why are you doing this? This is blood-soaked politics. A person doesn't become great because he's dead.
Why do you
Yes,
call us then?
yes, Vivek, silence.
You don't allow us to. Yes. Now, Arnab, please listen to me very, very carefully and please give me uninterrupted time. My first question is to you. Has Mukhtar Ansari? The answer is absolutely no. He has never been in the Samajwadi. Second question. Has Mukhtar Ansari ever fought an election from the Samajwadi Party symbol? The answer is absolutely no. You talked about Abbas Ansari today, right? Very nice. I'm very glad you talked to him. Talked about him. He's Mukhtar Ansari's son. Who's he? He's an MLA. He's an MLA from the NDA. He supports Mr. Narendra Modi. You should tell him. You should tell the viewers. They should know the reality. You should have the guts to tell that Mukhtar Ansari's son is a supporter of Mr. Narendra Modi, who is the Prime Minister of the country. Second, in your report, someone took the name of Mr. Brijesh
Any Tom, Dick and Harry can claim to be anybody's supporter. That doesn't, no, 1 minute. Any Tom, Dick and Harry can claim to be anybody's supporter. That's absolute rubbish. I'm getting a counter from Shantanu. Let him debate with you 1 versus 1.
Wait. I have not completed.
Let me expose him. Abbas Ansari.
No, Arnab, you have to listen. आपको सुनना पड़ेगा. आपने बीजेपी वालों को पूरा मौका दिया तो आप पूरा मौका हमको देंगे.
अखिलेश यादव फोर्स राजभर पार्टी, सुहेलदेव पार्टी to give tickets to Abbas Ansari. That's how he's MLA.
अरे वो बोल रहे विवेक साहिल, मैं सबकी सुनूंगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. आपको भी मेरी सुननी पड़ेगी उसके बाद. हाँ बोलिए, कोई रोक नहीं रहा है. विवेक साहिल बोलिए.
आपने उन लोग को पूरा मौका दिया. हम लोग का चांस है तो पूरा बोलने.
बहुत पीड़ा हो रही है आपको.
मौका दिया गया है.
पीड़ा तो होगी ना कि श्री मुख्तार अंसारी जी मर गए.
ये तरीका नहीं है.
पीड़ा ये है
कि आप गैंगस्टर्स के साथ मिलकर ये काम करें. आप गैंगस्टर्स के साथ बैठ कर ये काम करेंगे. गैंगस्टर्स के साथ, कड़ी पारों के साथ बैठकर आप ये काम करेंगे.
When was Mukhtar Ansari?
आपको गुस्सा क्यों है? मुख्तार अंसारी मारेंगे, कौन क्या करेगा इस पर? Why are you angry?
Mukhtar Ansari got arrested in 2005. It was the Samajwadi Party government. Why do you forget that? And Brijbhushan Singh has more cases than Mukhtar Ansari. 88 criminal cases. Brijesh Singh has 67 cases of heinous murder. You don't want to talk about him? You talk about the Congress, BSP and the SP. Why do you forget Ram Prasad Gupta? Why do you forget Kalyan Singh? Why do you forget Mr. Rajnath Singh? They were also the chief ministers from Uttar Pradesh, from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mukhtar Ansari was very much here in Uttar Pradesh. Why only blame the Samajwadi Party? Mukhtar Ansari fought the Lok Sabha election from the Bahujan Samaj Party,
because you
from,
people,
from Varanasi.
because
why do
you
you
people,
have to connect it
because
to the Samajwadi Party?
see, Atik, I'm talking about two people. I'm talking about two people together. I'm talking about two people together. आपको सुनना पड़ेगा. अभी देखिए, Vivek, listen. By the way, I am not only blaming you, I am also blaming sections of the media जो जाके बिरयानी खाते थे उसके साथ, हीरो बनाते थे इन लोगों को. मैं उनको भी ब्लेम कर रहा हूँ, आपको नहीं ब्लेम कर रहा. नहीं, मगर आप समझने की कोशिश कीजिए. I have with me, okay, 1 minute, just 1 minute. Can I get Rajesh Kumar Pandey also on air, please? Can I get Rajesh Kumar Pandey on air? Can I get Rajesh Kumar Pandey on air?
I'm listening you. मैं आपको सुन रहा हूँ.
Now, Rajesh Kumar Pandey is on air. Vivek ji, 1 minute. See, Vivek.
I think Mr. Vivek
please understand.
Mr. Vivek is shouting out all the political names.
Mukhtar Ansari was very scared. Mukhtar Ansari was very scared of Yogi Adityanath and the BJP government in Uttar Pradesh. Mukhtar Ansari was very comfortable with SP and BSP and Congress. This is the reality. And if you are saying that Rajbhar's party had 12 to 15 MLAs and one of those MLAs is Mukhtar Ansari's son, then what this goes on to prove, you can have any political links at any level, but you will not be spared if you are a mafia don. That is the message which goes today. Now my question to Rajesh Kumar Pandey is this. Mr. Pandey is a former IAS and founder member of the UPSTF, former IPS. Mr. Pandey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm hearing you.
My straight question to you today is, Mr. Pandey. Many people don't know, many youngsters, many people below the age of 30 today, 30, 35, may not know the details about Mukhtar Ansari. I think it's important for people to know. If I'm telling people tonight on the program that there was a time, viewers in this country, 15 to 20 years back, when gangsters and underworld dons had joint ventures with politicians, you could rape, extort, kill at will. This is a reality. और इस पे तारिक लारी को गुस्सा होने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. सच्चाई तो मिस्टर पांडे बोलेंगे. मिस्टर पांडे, is this true or not? You are a founding member of the UPSTF. Can you tell me what the situation was at that time?
क्या बोलने नहीं दे रहे हो?
मैं तो बिल्कुल आपको बोलने दूंगा. पांडे जी की बात सुन लीजिए मान्यवर.
अर्नब जी, आप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं. देखिए, 90 का दशक, 90s की बात मैं कर रहा हूं. 90 के दशक में पुलिस बहुत बैकफुट पे थी. 90 के दशक में मोबाइल फोन नहीं थे. 90 के दशक में सीसीटीवी कैमरे नहीं थे. इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रॉपर जैसे होनी चाहिए नहीं होती थी. मैनुअल जो आपके गवाह थे वो कोर्ट तक पहुंच नहीं पाते थे. आप सिर्फ इसी से समझ लीजिए कि 17 साल की उम्र में पहला मुकदमा लिखा गया था मुख्तार अंसारी के खिलाफ, और पहला कन्विक्शन 44 साल बाद 2022 में हुआ. एक और ग्लेरिंग एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको बताऊं कि जब ये पहला जब कोयले को ब्लैक गोल्ड कहते थे उस जमाने में, मैं 90s की बात कर रहा हूं. मैं तैनात था उस समय सर्किल ऑफिसर सोनभद्र में. सोनभद्र की ओपन कोल फील्ड जो एनसीएल की थी, वहां से कोयला भर भर के नंबर 2 का चंदौली की कोयला मंडी में आता था. वहां उनकी रंगदारी के लिए डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स में आपस में राइवलरी शुरू हुई. राइवलरी इस हद तक पहुंच गई कि 22 ऑफ जनवरी 1997 को विश्व हिंदू परिषद के कोषाध्यक्ष नंद किशोर रूंगटा, जो इत्तेफाक से बहुत बड़े कोयला व्यवसायी भी थे, इन ग्रुप्स ने जब उनके ऊपर रंगदारी के लिए और तमाम चीज के लिए प्रेशराइज करना शुरू किया, मुख्तार अंसारी ने उनको किडनैप करवाया. मैं एफआईआर की बात कर रहा हूं. पहले वो किडनैप हुए, उसके बाद उनका मर्डर हो गया. मर्डर के बाद चार्जशीट हुए, चार्जशीट के बाद ट्रायल हुआ. उनका लड़का बार बार पुलिस को ये कंप्लेन करता रहा कि साहब मुझे और गवाहों को धमकाया जा रहा है, जान से मारने की धमकी दी जा रही है और हमें अदालत तक पहुंचने नहीं दिया जा रहा है. 5 मुकदमे लिखवाए उसने. लेकिन फाइनली क्या हुआ, ट्रायल में ये बरी हो गए मुख्तार अंसारी। वहां से जो ये रार शुरू हुई है, और जो लोग भी हैं वो उस समय का जो भी सिस्टम था या जो भी लोग थे शासन सत्ता में, उनके वरदहस्त का भी सुन लीजिए। एक और एग्जांपल, मैं एसटीएफ में ही था। एसटीएफ में मैं मुख्तार अंसारी को पूरे गैंग के साथ परसू कर रहा था। हेड्स ऑफ टू शैलेंद्र सिंह। शैलेंद्र सिंह को एलएमजी रिकवर करने के लिए, कोटा लगाने के लिए इस कदर फोर्स किया उस समय की गवर्नमेंट ने कि 15 दिन बाद उसे पुलिस सर्विस से रिजाइन करना पड़ा। यही उसकी परेशानी का अंत नहीं हुआ, उसे सरकारी मकान तुरंत खाली कराया गया, किराए के मकान लेने से रोका गया। जहां जहां वो किराए का मकान लेने जाता था, इसके गुर्गे पहुंच के उसका जो बयान रोते समय, एक ऐसा उस समय का बहुत ही ब्राइट मेरे साथ पोस्टेड था, बहुत ही ब्राइट अफसर था, बहुत ही ऑनेस्ट अफसर था। ऑनेस्टी उसकी आज तक, इस घटना के इतने दिन बाद तक भी उसकी ऑनेस्टी जिसको देखनी है वो जाके देख सकता है। लेकिन उसे इतना प्रताड़ित किया गया सिर्फ इसलिए कि एलएमजी उसने मुख्तार से रिकवर की थी, मुख्तार के लोगों से, और उस एलएमजी का इस्तेमाल कृष्णानंद राय के मर्डर में किया जाना था। एलएमजी के रिकवर होने से जम्मू कश्मीर से वो चोरी से लाई गई थी। ये केस सब लोग जानते हैं, आप नेट पे ढूंढ लीजिए, आपको पता लग जाएगा। और उस डिप्टी एसपी की जिंदगी को नरक बना दिया गया
जी।
उसने हर तरह से कोशिश की कि भाई मेरी गलती बता दी जाए, लेकिन कोई सुनने को तैयार नहीं था। दूसरी बात मैं बता दूं कि ये 2 साल कृष्णानंद राय की हत्या टल गई। 2005 में जब कृष्णानंद राय की हत्या हुई, उसके कोई 15-20 दिन पहले उस समय हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स में एक खबर छपी, और खबर बाइलाइन खबर थी, भूपेंद्र पांडे जी ने लिखी थी, जो आज की तारीख में इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के स्टेट हेड हैं। उन्होंने उसमें लिखा था कि बड़े फाटक यानी मुख्तार के घर पर कौन कौन लोग हैं, संजीव जीवा है, मुन्ना बजरंगी है, सम पांडे करके एक है, 5-6 लोगों के नाम लिखे, और ये लिखा कि वहां पर 5 AK-47 आ गई हैं, 2-3 AK-47 का वेट हो रहा है, और कोई बड़ा कांड होने वाला है। ये हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स के फ्रंट पेज पे छपी, और उसके बाद भी किसी ने उसका संज्ञान नहीं लिया। यहां तक कि इसका संज्ञान लेके द देन एसपी ऑफ द गाजीपुर, he started extracting some information from the place and he was shifted within 24 hours. और 15 दिन बाद ही वो
मैं 1 मिनट आपको इस वक्त राजेश जी मैं 1 मिनट के लिए आपको मैं इंटरप्ट कर रहा हूं, क्योंकि हमारे साथ इस वक्त पीयूष राय भी है। नहीं, तारिक लारी जी, आपको मुश्किल हो रही है क्या सुनने में ये सब बातें? पीयूष राय कौन है आप तो जानते ही होंगे। पीयूष राय कृष्णानंद राय जी के सुपुत्र हैं।
इन सबका भाषण सुनना था तो वो तो मैं टीवी पे सुन लेता, जो मैंने 2014
ये भाषण नहीं है, ये भाषण नहीं है, सच्चाई है।
मैं यहाँ सुनने के लिए
ऐसे लोगों को राजनीतिक पनाह मिल चुकी है इस देश में।
जिस शैलेंद्र सिंह की बात कर रहे हैं वो ब्रिजेश सिंह का गुर्गा था।
क्या है?
जिस शैलेंद्र सिंह की बात कर रहे हैं वो ब्रिजेश सिंह का गुर्गा था, ये सबको मालूम है। वो भी तो पता है ना कि वो कितना बड़ा गुर्गा था ब्रिजेश सिंह का। ब्रिजेश सिंह के कहने पे काम कर रहा था। ये भी साथ में बोलिए, ये भी बताइए, ये भी बताइए।
मेरी बात सुनिए 1 मिनट। तारिक लारी जी, I'll tell you, मैं बताता हूँ ना आपको 1 मिनट। लेट मी टेल यू द हिस्ट्री, लेट मी टेल यू द हिस्ट्री। लारी जी सुनिए, तारिक लारी जी, तारिक लारी जी 1 मिनट मेरी बात, 1 मिनट सुनिए मेरी बात, 1 मिनट सुनिए मेरी बात, 1 मिनट मैं बताऊंगा, मैं जरूर बताऊंगा। अगर आप रुक जाएंगे, आप गतिरोधक बन रहे हैं मुझे रुक जाने को, आपको कह रहा हूं आप रुक जाइए, 2 मिनट में सब कुछ कह दूंगा। आई विल से एवरीथिंग, आई विल रिवील एवरीथिंग टुडे। यू सी व्यूअर्स, दिस प्रोग्राम
मुख्तार अंसारी जेल में थे, वो हत्या
तारिक लारी जी मैं बताऊंगा ना आपको तकलीफ क्या हो रही है।
सब चीजें फैक्ट बताइए, ये भी फैक्ट बताइए कि तारिक अहमद की जान बचाने वाला मुख्तार अंसारी था। ये भी बताइए आप, ये भी बताइए।
तो आपको अगर इफ यू आर ऑब्लाइज टू हिम तो ये आपकी प्रॉब्लम है, आपकी पर्सनल बात है। आप उनके फैन है तो आप फैन बने रहिए। मगर आई वांट टू कॉल, एक मिनट तारिक लारी जी, एक माफिया डॉन एंड एक्सटॉर्शनिस्ट, एक माफिया डॉन, एक एक्सटॉर्शनिस्ट, एक मर्डरर, एक कन्विक्टेड मर्डरर के बारे में आप इस प्रोग्राम में आके कह रहे हैं मैं उनका फैन हूं, तो आप फैन बने रहिए। मैं आई एम इनवाइटिंग पीयूष राय राइट नाउ। 1 मिनट तारिक लारी जी, 1 मिनट प्लीज वेट सर, प्लीज वेट।
और 2000 लोगों का कातिल प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनकर बैठा है, सब पूरा दिख रहा है, क्रिमिनल
तारिक लारी जी, जस्ट वेट अ मिनट। मुख्तार अंसारी इज डेड। आप उनको ग्रेट नहीं बना सकते। मुख्तार अंसारी इज डेड।
कौन ठाकुर मारा गया कहीं पे?
बट मुख्तार अंसारी इज डेड।
कौन ठाकुर मारा गया है? कौन माफिया ठाकुर?
मुख्तार अंसारी आपके साथ नहीं रहे अभी, आपके साथ नहीं है, इस दुनिया में नहीं है मुख्तार अंसारी।
उसको तो वाई श्रेणी की सुरक्षा।
चलिए, देश बदल रहा है, उत्तर प्रदेश भी बदल रही है, आप भी बदल जाइए।
वाई श्रेणी की सुरक्षा
आप भी बदल जाइए। देश बदल रहा है, उत्तर प्रदेश बदल रहा है, भारत बदल रहा है, आप भी बदल जाइए।
वेल डन। माफियाओं को वाई श्रेणी की सुरक्षा दी जाती है, और तारिक अहमद लारी जिसके ऊपर आज
ओके, नाउ आई वांट टू गो टू पीयूष राय। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, Piyush Rai, everybody is on, volume down. Piyush Rai, who is on the right hand side of the screen, viewers, 2 minutes, and I'll get everybody back. Piyush Rai is the son of Krishnanand Rai. अब ये कहानी बहुत जरूरी है लोगों को जानना। Krishnanand Rai was an MLA representing Mohammadabad Assembly constituency, which is in Gazipur district. Okay, he defeated Mukhtar Ansari's brother, Afzal Ansari, and he won the Mohammadabad constituency of Gazipur district. Now, when he did that, he was a threat to the illegal businesses of Mukhtar Ansari. In 2005, Piyush Rai's father, Krishnanand Rai, was coming home when he was attacked. और यही मुख्तार अंसारी, ये इनके समय में, they used to have AK-47s, and Piyush, I just want to share this with you, 400 bullets were pumped into your father's body. 400 bullets. And आज भी ऐसे लोग हैं जो इनको हीरो बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. तो I just want to ask you, when you hear these people, what would you like to say to them? आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे उनको?
Actually, thank you, Arnav, for inviting me on your show. And really, I'm not surprised by, these people are making heroes of Mukhtar Ansari. I'm totally not surprised by them because I was listening everybody's views on his past karma, and I don't know the name, but some of the one member of the panelists, I think he is the spokesperson of SP. He was referring that Mukhtar Ansari was never a member of Samajwadi Party, and I'm sure that he's right. He was never a member of Samajwadi Party. So just ask him, does he believe that Mukhtar Ansari is a mafia and gangster or not? Just ask him one thing. Is Mukhtar Ansari or was Mukhtar Ansari a mafia or a gangster or not? The gang number IS 191 was on his name, and the people who were involved in those gangs were the mass murderers like Munna Bajrangi, Sanjeev Jiva, Rakesh Pandey, Hero, and there were many people who were involved in his gang. And his gang was till now active till date. And we don't know what they are going to do in the future. But are these Samajwadi Party leaders or any other political parties, what they are doing with this social status between the people, that by making a hero out of Mukhtar Ansari, they are demeaning their basic line of politics, that if somebody is a criminal, whether he belongs to any caste or any religion, he should be always told that he is a criminal, whether he is of any caste or any religion. One of the Samajwadi spokesperson was asking, did any Chhatri was ever killed? Yes, Prem Prakash Singh Bunna Bajrangi was a Chhatri. He was killed in the jail. There was a judicial investigation,
and he was also
all the
his
members
property
who
was
killed your
also
father
seized.
has been
And
killed.
yes,
All
Vikas
the
Dubey
members
was
who killed
also
your father
criminal.
has
He
been
was
killed.
a Brahmin.
Am I right
He
or
was
wrong,
never
Mr. Piyush?
asked whether he was a
Why not
Brahmin
Bridget
or
Singh killed till now?
government never
Why not
makes
Chulbul
any
Singh?
these issues like what is the religion of a criminal. We always know,
Your mother has said Baba
jab,
जी ने मेरी सुन ली. Your mother said Baba जी
when
ने
my
मेरे साथ
father was
इंसाफ किया है.
killed
Baba जी
in
ने मेरी सुन ली.
2005, there were these people were also there at that time, and no issues was raised why a Brahmin Bumiyar criminal, why a Brahmin Bumiyar MLA was killed and his shikha was cut down from forehead.
असलियत निकली ना मुंह से पीयूष जी कि आपके पिताजी क्रिमिनल थे. असलियत निकली आपके मुंह से कि आपके पिताजी क्रिमिनल थे. ये देखिए, ये असलियत है. ये असलियत है पीयूष जी के मुंह से जो निकल रही है. That is father was a criminal.
एक समाज को क्यों बेइज्जत किया गया, उसकी शिखा काट के उसके सर पे 400 गोलियां चलाने के बाद उसके सर पे पॉइंट ब्लैंक से हर व्यक्ति के सर पे 5-5 गोलियां क्यों मारी गई? क्यों नहीं ये सब प्रश्न समाजवादी पार्टी के या बहुजन समाज पार्टी के जो भी लीडर्स हैं या कांग्रेस के जो भी लीडर्स हैं, उन लोगों ने ये प्रश्न उस समय इनके भाई अफजाल अंसारी समाजवादी पार्टी के सांसद थे, क्यों नहीं पूछे उनसे कि क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है आपके कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में, कैसे विधायक की हत्या की जा रही है? और आपको अगर ये लगता है कि अगर मुख्तार अंसारी समाजवादी पार्टी के नहीं मेंबर रहे हैं तो आपके अखिलेश यादव की फोटो मुख्तार अंसारी के घर के क्यों इतने करीबी फोटो उनके साथ हैं? क्या रिश्ते रहे हैं? जब वो बसपा में रहे हैं तो उनसे उनके साथ नजदीकी बनाने के क्या कारण है? अर्नब, आई थिंक द होल रीजन बिहाइंड दिस इज द ओनली मियर पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ वोट बैंक एंड तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति ने इस देश के पॉलिटिक्स में एक ही चीज तय किया है कि जब जब चुनाव होंगे तब तक वोट बैंक के लिए ऐसी पार्टियां, ऐसे दलें अपने इस्तेमाल के लिए वोट बैंक की राजनीति करती रहेंगी. उनके लिए अपराधी का हमेशा मजहब निकल के आ जाएगा. किसी भी व्यक्ति में जब चुनाव खत्म हो जाएंगे तो फिर उनका काम निकल जाएगा. फिर वो अगले 5 साल का इंतजार करेंगे कि कब किस अपराधी के मजहब के बारे में चर्चा की जाए. तो ये दशा है पॉलिटिक्स की. ये थोड़ी सी ड्रॉबैक्स हैं, पर मेरा मानना है कि एक मिनिमम डिकोरम होनी चाहिए पॉलिटिक्स में, जो हम और आप एक तय करें कि जो अपराधी इस समाज के लिए हानिकारक है तो उसके बारे में खुले तौर पे हमें कहना होगा कि हाँ ये अपराधी है. और मुख्तार अंसारी इसलिए अपराधी है क्योंकि वो
नहीं बिल्कुल. देखिए, इट इज टाइम टू स्पीक ओपनली. मैं पहले
की बात हो रही है कि उनकी हत्या
लारी जी मैं एक बार आई वांट टू गो टू आसिफ सोहेल.
हत्या होने पे सब खुश होते हैं.
आई वांट टू गो टू आसिफ सोहेल फॉर 1 मिनट बिकॉज़ ही इज नॉट स्पोकन.
आज वो मरे हैं, कल आप मरेंगे, परसों मैं मरूंगा.
आसिफ
सबकी बराबर है.
did people like did some political parties, whether SP or BSP, outsource Muslim vote banks to people like Atiq Ahmed and Mukhtar Ansari or not? कि आप अपना दबदबा न बनाए रखिए, आप पैसे बनाइए, खूब एक्सटॉर्शन कीजिए, फिरौती कीजिए, किडनैपिंग कीजिए, मर्डर कीजिए, ठीक समय पे हमें वोट बैंक ले आइए और हमको रेगुलर पैसा देते रहिए. यही तो बात आती है ना. 100 करोड़ 200 करोड़ 1000 करोड़ की कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्सटॉर्शन इंडस्ट्री, ऐसा ही तो चल रहा था देश. So the communal angle is there, the business angle is also there. Yes, Asif Sohail.
बॉन्ड से चल रहा है एक्सटॉर्शन. अर्नब, अब इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड से एक्सटॉर्शन हो रहा है.
मैं जवाब दूंगा अर्नब इसका. देखिए, एक तो पहली बात फिलोखत का जो मुद्दा है, सुनिए सर, मुझे बोलने दीजिए आप. फिलोखत का जो मुद्दा है मुख्तार अंसारी के मौत के ऊपर, देखिए यूपी हिंदुस्तान का नंबर 1 स्टेट है जिसमें कस्टोडियल डेथ 900 के ऊपर हुए हैं. ठीक है, कभी बंदूक की गोली से मारा जाता है तो कभी जहर दे के मारा जाता है, कभी बुलडोजर से मारा जाता है, कभी नाम पूछ के मारते हैं, कभी इबादत गाहों को तोड़ते हैं. यहाँ पे देखिए कोई रूल ऑफ लॉ नहीं है, बंदूक से चला जाता है. संविधान तो खत्म हो चुका है. और रही बात, देखिए मैं मुख्तार अंसारी को सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ, वो जो थे गलत थे, उनको मारने का हक किसी को नहीं था. कानून उनको सजा दी थी और वो कानून के मुजरिम थे, वो सजा काट रहे थे. जैसा पीयूष जी के फादर उनको जो मरे हैं वो बहुत ही गलत बात है. उनकी भी मौत के ऊपर हमें अफसोस जाहिर करना चाहिए. देखिए, कोई पार्टी का आदमी कोई दूध का धुला नहीं है. ये लोग को इस्तेमाल किया गया है, भाजपा हो या दूसरे पार्टी हो, कोई भी वक्त के ऊपर हर किसी को इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. पहले गैंगस्टर का गुंडागर्दी चल रही थी, आज पॉलिटिकल गुंडागर्दी चल रही है. आज फर्क क्या रह गया है बताइए आप. लोगों को चुन चुन कर मार रहे हैं। एक पॉलिटिकल किलिंग सिर्फ एक टारगेट मुस्लिम वक्त के ऊपर क्यों हो रहा है?
कैसे आपको पता कि मारा है? यशोवर्धन आजाद, कैन दिस काइंड ऑफ एलिगेशन बी मेड विदाउट एनी प्रूफ? आप गलत बोल रहे हैं, लोगों को भड़का रहे हैं। हाउ कैन यू से मारा गया? ही हैड हार्ट अटैक। इनको हार्ट अटैक हुआ, आप कह रहे हैं मारा गया?
इन लोगों ने
9,000 के ऊपर लोग मरे हैं। एनकाउंटर का नाम पे
नहीं, पोर्ट्रेल आप कर रहे हैं यशोवर्धन आजाद।
यहां तक कि भी
कानून ने सजा दी।
हार्ट अटैक हुआ है,
आपकी मदर ने पोर्ट्रेट किया,
कोई सेलिब्रेट थोड़ी कर रहा है कि किसी को हार्ट अटैक हुआ
ये
है।
बोल कानून से चलता है ना, बल्कि किसी के नागपुर यूनिवर्सिटी से चलता है।
बनाया जा रहा है जैसे उनका मर्डर किया गया है।
भाई कोई
सरकार डिसाइड करेगी कि इसको कब कार्डियक अरेस्ट हो जाए।
इलेक्शन का टाइम है, इसको डाइवर्ट करने के लिए ये हुआ है। समझ रहे हैं आप?
अरे आप कैसे बात कर रहे हैं यशोवर्धन आजाद? आई थिंक
गलत तो गलत
दिस इज अ irresponsible allegation. I think you must respond to that.
It's absolutely wrong.
Ansari or
And
neither
in
कोई भी
fact,
रहने
I
दो
have
जो
said that
बीजेपी से
even
जुड़ा हो या
the
किसी से
state
जुड़ा
does
हो,
not
criminal
benefit by
होता है।
killing him because he had already
समझ
been
रहे हैं आप?
convicted in 5 cases. It neither helps the police and it doesn't help the state also. The other thing is, the most important thing is whether it was poisoning. That is an allegation which has been made. That will come out in the toxicology report. What is the judicial inquiry for? And therefore, to give a judgment already before.
सर मेरा सवाल ये है, उनकी
Exactly,
autopsy
विवेक,
इन कैमरा
listen to
की
that.
गई क्या? उतना अगर है तो उनकी autopsy इन कैमरा करी जानी चाहिए था। अब वो सैंपल्स रखेंगे, इंक्वायरी होगी, सब होगा, ये सब भागते भागते हैं, बेकार बातें होने की। होना हो गया है, किसी को गोली से मार रहे, किसी को जहर से मारा जा रहा है। गलत बात है ये।
लेकिन डॉक्टर से आप जो चाहे लिखवा लीजिए, मुझे भी तरीके मालूम है सब।
वो आप सुने नहीं तो बात दूसरी है। ये आप पॉइजनिंग की बात कर रहे हैं सुहेल साहब, वो टॉक्सिकोलॉजी के रिपोर्ट में 4 सप्ताह बाद जुडिशियल इंक्वायरी में आ जाएगी। उसको तो छिपा नहीं सकते हैं ना, वो तो जज की बात है। और जो पहली बात है मेडिकल अटेंशन की, वो भी उसमें आ जाएगी।
950 के ऊपर लोग जो है सो कस्टोडियल डेथ हुए सारे, उसका भी हो रहा है।
Viewers, I'm closing this
मुझे बताइए आप।
At this point, because I've overshot the time limit, I just want to say to everyone, Talik Lari, and also to Mr. Vivek Silas, that don't see, he is and was a gangster. Don't lionize him. Don't try to build a sympathy campaign for him. Nobody has any sympathy for Mukhtar Ansari. I'm saying the man doesn't deserve sympathy, Mr. Lari. You don't need to build up sympathy for him. Okay, viewers, I will close it there. When I come back, viewers, from Mukhtar Ansari, we'll go to the story that's doing the rounds. You may have heard that the United Nations, that the United States have all been condemning Kejriwal's arrest and the Congress tax notices. When I come back on the other side, I'll tell you why I think both the questions and the answers being reported in the media are planted and false in a few minutes.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी भाषा तमिल भाषा हिंदुस्तान की है। मैं दुनिया को बताना चाहता हूं, सबसे पुरानी भाषा का गर्व प्राप्त है, वो मेरी तमिल भाषा है।
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Controversy is raging around the Supreme Court once again. So much controversy around the country's highest court all the time is not good. And most unfortunately, all this controversy happens every time on the eve of every election, especially the general elections. And the Supreme Court of India is willy-nilly dragged into political issues, and that's not good either. It's very bad. I've always maintained that it is wrong to use the Supreme Court rooms to fight political battles. But it happens all the time. And now it's getting very intense, the political controversies around the Supreme Court. 600 lawyers saying that there is a concerted attempt to surround the Supreme Court with pressure tactics. Pressurize the courts, to smear the courts. And with all of this happening, with the hashtag Supreme Court controversy, we must address this burning issue. What are these political parties fighting about? If the fight is over money and access to money, if the fight is over whether some parties are getting more money and others are getting less money, and the fight is over whether you got more money, I got more money, you got these many crores, I got these many crores, ladies and gentlemen, fight it out in the public arena. Why make the Supreme Court the center over a fight over money? What is this fight about, really? Is it about whether the PMLA Act should be used against scam kingpins? Then why drag the courts into it? Were other people like Naresh Trehan or Jet Airways or Wadhwans of DHFL who are accused of grace?
कांग्रेस को जब से कर्नाटका में मौका मिला है तो इन्होंने कर्नाटका को अपना एटीएम बना दिया है। इंडी अलायंस वाले लोग बार बार जानबूझकर हिंदू धर्म का अपमान करते हैं। इनका हर बयान बहुत सोचा समझा हुआ होता है।
March of terror in Pakistan. Chinese workers killed in suicide bomb blast. Is Pakistan in a position to garner security to the Chinese? Debating tonight at 10:30 p.m.
कांग्रेस को जब से कर्नाटका में मौका मिला है तो इन्होंने कर्नाटका को अपना एटीएम बना दिया है।
Mystery over US-UN remarks on Kejriwal. UN wades into row over Kejriwal's arrest. Is US engineering anti-Indian narrative? Debating tonight at 10 p.m.
इंडी अलायंस वाले लोग बार बार जानबूझकर हिंदू धर्म का अपमान करते हैं। इनका हर बयान बहुत सोचा समझा हुआ होता है।
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV.